well. So now that stream is started, Kamui, do you want to re-say what you were literally just saying? Because I felt like that was a good start to stream.
Okay.
Okay.
The context context won't make quite as much sense. I will have to rephrase it
Okay.
because we don't want to spoil the other thing, of course.
Of course.
So I think a good starting topic for this would be about Momoshiki's return to the Boruto series / Kawashiki's return, because even though it isn't literally the spoiler sneak peek page we got, it's still a good discussion for chapter 13 / I guess 14. And I'm not going to spoil how for you, but it does work at least the very least can work in tandem with the sneak peek page, not directly, but indirectly. I feel like, honestly, just a topic that I feel like we've beat around the bush on, we've talked about it, but we haven't finished talking about it.
Okay, fair enough. Considering that we're doing the chapter 13 spoiler stream, I feel like this is the perfect time to talk about Borushiki.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
even if he's not in the spoiler.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't know that because I haven't read the spoilers yet. I'm not going to, obviously.
But you know that.
Well,
you know that because, first of all, let's be real, they would never put that in a spoiler. Like, that's too big of a spoiler. You don't just spoil the cliffhanger end of a chapter.
I can't wait for him to be the cover picture of this chapter, though.
For no reason. Yes. Nah, I still think it comes out in chapter 3. They would make him the cover of chapter 14, just like they did with chapter 43 and 44 in the Boruto fight. Granted. Well, actually, no. Even like chapter 53, the end of the chapter, Momoshiki shows up. Chapter 54, they do the cover of him. So that's definitely a repeating occurrence.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to know. Well, good to think about, I guess. I can't wait for them to... Well, but keep in mind, that's when Kodachi was writing it. So who knows what they'll do now?
You do have a point. So I'm trying to think... Yeah, because, in the Code arc, chapter 66 is the Kawaki cover, but he's revealed at the end of chapter 65. And...
Okay.
The problem, though, is the Hidari cover is in, at least one of the 2 Hidari-focused chapters.
Yeah.
Jura's the cover when he invades in chapter 8. Mitsuki's the cover of the Mitsuki chapter. So maybe they do just do that for 2 blue artists.
I think there's also another way we have to look at it. It could be that Borushiki could be on the cover without Borushiki actually being in the chapter, just like how they did Sumire on the cover last month when it had no relevance at all.
Yeah, or Himawari in, I think, chapter 3, when I don't even think she was even in the chapter.
I know you referenced Amado could be on the cover.
But, exactly. Unless they go back to the old thing and they have Sumire be super important in this chapter. Hypothetically, maybe Momoshiki kills Sumire. That's the chapter cliffhanger. So that's why she was on the previous chapter.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely a chapter 13 spoiler stream. So, with that being said, I don't want to talk about the chapter 13 spoilers because I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it a chapter 13 spoiler stream.
Oh yeah, it's spoilers in the title. So don't worry,
we will be spoiling chapter 13. We will be spoiling it, but we're not going to talk about the spoiler that you've already seen. We're just going to spoil it in different ways.
Yeah. We're very conscious and careful about the spoilers. So that's how you know that you click on the video with that in the title, knowing that we're not going to spoil it.
Exactly. In light of the spoilers, this has nothing to do with Momoshiki, but in light of your most recent podcast topic, I just think it's hilarious that That's not the karma symbol, bro. We don't know what that symbol is, but it's not the karma symbol. The karma symbol's the diamond. What is he? What is this guy talking about?
He just found a pentagram on Google Images. I'm assuming it's like he got it off the wall from the Kara base or whatever.
The thing in chapter 15, they were called Kara panel. First of all, it's not even a perfect pentagram. It's like, it's got 7. It's like disfigured. It's only got 7 sides or 7 points. But anyway, we don't know what that symbol is, but it's not the symbol of karma. Symbol of something, but.
Oh my god, bro. It's like Hagoromo's clan symbol shenanigans all over again.
Yeah, it's just there. We don't know what it is. Like, why does he have it on his forehead? It's not an eye.
But I do love the idea that connects Hagoromo to the Thorn Souls, or to whatever else shenanigans of why it's on the Thorn Soul in general. I love that idea. So I'm down for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, granted, the problem. So the thing with this Thorn Soul Center thing is, it really could be one of 3 things, I guess. One is a Rinnegan, which all the shit you have is well as Tentacles. 2, just the clan symbol thing that's like a Rinnegan, the Rinne symbol, whatever it actually is. Or 3, the most silly one is just. That's just the center of the flower, and that's just because it's kind of a spirally thing. That's just what the center of the flower looks like. It's not actually anything. And it really could be any of the 3.
It could just coincidentally look like it. I don't think there's any reason
to prove it's one of or the other. It just really could be any of the 3.
We haven't done this in a while. Let's go to comments first. If you leave an interesting comment on the YouTube video, we will screenshot it so that we can react to it live on the podcast. Or maybe not even react, but just read it. And Kamui's reaction probably, but like I've probably read it, which is why I knew it was interesting to take a screen. Anyways.
Yeah.
So
we'll have words to say about it at the very least. Also, Oodie, you know what's kind of funny but really sad?
Oh god.
We have more viewers today than we did for the freaking Rock
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. I don't know how many hello, what's up? Don't know what to put here in space. Hello, everyone. Boruto greatness. Yes, we will get to the spoilers next stream. It's okay, so on to the comments first. So this was a video on chapter 10, or a comment on chapter 10. So this is how far behind we are, by the way. This is Lorge's comment. Shout out Lorge6360. So they say, just to answer Kamui's question from 4557, it's stated multiple times from various different sources that bijuu are pure chakra. Chio mentions it, for example. It also makes sense as how would they respawn if they weren't just made of nature energy. Essentially, a bijuu's chakra is their entire essence. They just form it into their bodies, as chakra is malleable. Gyuki is able to regenerate tentacles, and Hagoromo is able to split the Jubi into 9 different beings. Therefore, they do not have genetics, as they do not pass down genes. That's a lot to take in, but anywhere you want to start.
I don't know what the question was.
Well,
it's almost too like without knowing what I allegedly. Yeah, we need to listen to my question because
okay.
I don't know if it's relevant to what I said or not.
Is there anything in particular from that you wanted to address or respond to first before I go find whatever this is?
I mean, I'm fine with what he's saying. I just gotta know what I asked to really know if like that's a good response, bad response, even related.
Yeah, because it's not like he's like debunking you or disagreeing with you necessarily. It's more like he's like adding on to what you were saying, or like even like again, like he's saying that he's answering a question. So
yeah, so like we need to know what the question was.
557. Okay. So okay, I'm going to change it to, I guess, the window, and I don't know if you're gonna hear it or if I can turn on captions. Here, can you hear this?
I'm sure you've heard of the whole Momoshiki is Shibari. I don't hear it, but I don't know if my stream's turned off. I went upstairs to grab some water.
Okay, here. In that case, you're gonna echo just so that we can hear whatever your question is. You'll be okay.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I just turn the stream off.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
I'm right here. Hold on a second. Just a second.
What's
Okay, it
up,
looks like the volume is
Harmon?
on.
Herman? Okay, well, here, can you hear this?
Oh, I gotta blow my nose.
Bro, I've heard the everyone
No.
will be by theory at this point. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
something I will.
in that case, you're gonna echo, but that's okay. Just for a minute.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's short enough.
Yeah.
Say about that is beyond the reasons why I just don't think that is the case. One of the most annoying aspects of that thing, I guess, like, oh, no, that's why Boruto's so scared. It's not Momoshiki, it's Shibai. The problem is, this almighty god should not have been the situation he was in at the end of part 1, for one thing. And second, it's just like, we're just throwing Momoshiki out of the story, devaluing him completely for no reason, when we could just have both characters.
So I feel like this is... Am I at the wrong place? Because this wasn't cut up. This is like a 7-hour thing, so... This is like the... Like, here is, yeah, like 45:57. Here's the comment. This is... We watched 45:57, so we haven't...
Well, that's 46:39.
Well, no, but like, we've been listening for like a minute.
A little bit more?
Yeah, like, I started it like at 45:50. Here, I'll start at 45:47.
Now, I still haven't done my video on this, but
just blowing your nose.
You've heard of the whole Momoshiki is Shibai theory?
Yeah, this is about it's about Momoshiki is Shibai.
Yeah. So
this
it's stated okay.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
I feel like he posted this on the wrong thing. No, it is, because like again, it's not even just the same title and thumbnail. Here's the comment. 45:57. Did we say it like a minute earlier? Did he have dyslexic and it's actually 57:45?
For the sake of knowing where it's stated.
Got him. And then when he gets the chance, like he's coming pretty soon.
Yeah, actually, it's a small side note. I still haven't done my video on this, but I'm sure you've heard.
Why doing 57:45? And just see.
There's no shot, but sure. That's so funny. Actually, we're reading a comment here because I remember I didn't check the timestamp to check if it was accurate, but I do remember the comment on this video. It is from 2 months ago, something that we were talking about in this video. That's why I took a screenshot of it. So okay, let's see what you say at 57:45.
Different context. There can be group battles, one-on-one battles. I like to just look at all things into account and basically how would a Naruto character rank the tier list.
The way I see it,
though, there's a clear. No, I'm not done. There's a clear winner in this case. They are
both definitely not about this.
Yeah, okay. I give up.
Just the tier list conversation.
Yeah. Shout out Jonathan Oliver. Okay, well anyways. But so you agree with the rest of it? The Chio statement and all of the rest of it?
Sure, it just has nothing to do with whatever I said.
Okay. Well, you did say it. He just got the timestamp miserably wrong.
Well, I don't know what I said or asked, so...
Yeah, well, There you go. Shout out Lords. Glad we could answer your question. Alright, we'll do this one too. This is from Jeremy, Georgia, on Will Kakashi appear in Two Blue Vortex. He says, perhaps we might see him attempt to get Teuchi to carry his new Kakashi cereal. But unless there's actually something special about his bloodline, I can't see how he could be relevant to the story. It really seems like the story is currently about bloodlines rather than skill. So I loved Kakashi cereal. That's why I took the screenshot.
I love that too.
Yeah. Right?
And I would be totally fine if that just was in the manga for no reason at all. That's just funny.
You know what? We should add Kakashi cereal to the abridged. Kimoto would never.
That said, I get what he's saying, but I will say, looking at Boruto currently, it feels like it's been more about his skill than his bloodline. Now, I know, like, you're wanting to feed him to the Tentos because he's a Suzuki, blah, blah, that's a bloodline genetic shenanigans. But in terms of his threat as a ninja, it has been mostly just his skills, even more than his power, I'd say. It's really his skill. So if they keep doing that sort of thing, then yeah. But then you're looking at the Himawari thing, okay, well, that's definitely not a skill situation. Whatever it is, it's bloodline or fate, you know? So I do get what he's saying. I think it just depends on the character.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even Sumire is relevant in the story, and she doesn't have a unique bloodline. Even if you want to say Nue shenanigans, she doesn't even make that a relevant thing for her, and she's in the stories. Kakashi can bring back his Kakashi cereal. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's do maybe one more, maybe a couple, I don't know. Vaughn says, I want Inojin to be revived in the next 5 chapters. If he gets revived past that deadline, I'm gonna be pissed. Either way, I want the whole Team 10 dead so Hima can get more angry power-ups. LOL.
I'm a little confused. So, why do you want him to be revived, Vaughn, if you want him to be dead?
Listen, it could be like the Uchiha massacre, to where Himawari just sees Inojin die in real life just over and over again. That just gives him massive power.
I'd be fine with that. Maybe he'll die for real.
Hopefully.
Point.
But what about the thoughts of killing all of Team 10? Because, like, if you kill Inojin, the Inoshikatro next generation is dead. You might as well, like, the other two are now just as expendable.
So, I'm all on board for killing Chocho and Inojin. I do kind of want Shikadai to live, though.
Okay.
I like Shikadai.
Yeah.
Chocho and Inojin can die. Use them for something. Use them well this time. But yeah, get rid of them. I hate to say it, they're not relevant, but they're forcibly relevant as plot devices when it's convenient in the worst executed ways. Just get rid of them. I don't want Ikimoto or whoever to have the ability to use them poorly. If they're dead, too late. You can't use them now.
Yeah. That said, they could also have a character arc, or as cheesy as this is, if you write it right, then it's fine. As cheesy as it is, they could have a character arc to where if Inojin dies, the Ino Shikachou trio next generation thing, title, legacy, it dies. But now this gives them the character arc opportunity to go on their own path and do their own journey and to separate themselves from Ino Shikachou, to be Inojin rather than, or well, not Inojin because he's dead, but the Shikadai instead of Shika, if that makes sense.
And I agree with that. That stuff definitely works with chapter 1 of Boruto, the whole my story thing.
Yeah.
Identity thing. It definitely works.
That said, this would also be terrible.
I know you said like cheesy, blah blah blah. I wouldn't mind that if they did it, as long as they just did it well. Yeah. You know, as long as it doesn't come across as cheap and forced, but it actually feels natural and it feels like there's an actual point to it. A point beyond let's have the 10th character have the same character arc. You know, like I'm fine with it. And to some extent, you could just have Shikadai do that. If Shikadai wants to be the freaking Kazekage, because he's going to be Shikadai instead of the Shika of the League. He just can do his own thing. That could work. You don't need Chocho in that case. Granted, you could have Chocho do it too, but honestly, I don't like manga Chocho. I'm going to be real. I just don't like her.
I like her edition.
I
like her edition in Naruto.
I like her more in the anime, because in the anime, she's funny. But in the manga, she's not funny. I just don't like her.
In the Shin arc, I did like her as her addition to Sakura's character as an extension.
Guess who wrote that arc?
Exactly.
Kishimoto. So she was funny.
Exactly. She works better not as a character herself, but as an extension of other characters, such as Sarada's story there.
Exactly. She was a good foil.
Yeah.
In the sense of like making Sarada stand out with the funny juxtaposition with Chocho.
Exactly. It worked well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, it was humorous and it actually narratively worked. So
yeah,
it was good to have her there. But now I don't feel like they're doing that. And it's not to say they can't, but Doesn't feel like they are.
Yeah. So for me, my big problem, if they did go the route of this hypothetical story of them, oh, it's my own story outside of Ino Shikacho. So, like, this sort of kind of implies that Ino Shikacho is like a negative thing, just holding them back or whatever.
That too.
It's like not, no, just no.
And
Like, I don't even need to
also-
explain though.
They could also just be, Shikacho, taking in their heritage and culture, but be their own person. So Shikadai is still the Shika, Shikacho, but he's got the dai, not because he's gonna die, but because he's gonna be different from the Maru, his father. Like, and so on and so forth. Like, if anything, they're supposed to embrace the Shikacho, but be their own person at the same time.
Do you think their parents purposefully named them Ino Shikacho, knowing they would team up together? And, like, they're like, alright, screw you, I'm deciding your name has to involve Cho so that it can be in line with Ino Shikacho? Or was it just coincidence, basically? Just screw their children over.
I don't know if there's like an underlying Japanese thing to explain it, but at least from the English perspective, yeah, it feels like they just purposefully named them that because all of the hairs of the clans, at least, all just have these names.
Yeah.
Choza, Choji,
Exactly.
Chocho, Inoichi, Ino, Inojin, Shikaku, Shikamaru, Shikadai. Like, they just do that. But not everyone, because we do know that there's a guy named Ensui in the Nara clan. He's the guy, the warlock, who does the shadow possession on the Seven Ninja Swordsman. Genie Nakabino. But, so not everyone in the clan has the naming scheme, but at least the hairs do.
Ironically, of all 9 members from the 3 generations of Ino Shikacho, I think this whole my story separate from Ino Shikacho, I think this whole character arc thing would work best for Ino's character. If you had to give this to one of the 9, which one would you give it to? I know we don't know much about the first generation, but besides the adults, I guess. What you do know of them, I guess.
I mean, in terms of how it plays out, absolutely, because she's the only one, I hate to say it, she's the only one who actually does it, when you think about it. Shikaku, yes, I know
Yeah.
Shikamaru's the advisor. Shikaku's basically a fucking advisor, okay? He's the war general, army commander, strategist, okay? That's exactly what Shikamaru is. He's just slightly different in terms of being the literal advisor versus the basic advisor. Choji and Choza, I fail to find a difference. Ichi and Ino, though, however, there is actual difference in what they do. First of all, just Ino's a girl. Second of all, Ino's a medical ninja. But more specifically, the role in the village. Inoichi's more an interrogation guy. He's basically like Ibiki's right-hand man. He's one of the interrogation dudes with his mind transfer shenanigans. Whereas Ino is a sensory division thing. Now, obviously, Inoichi in the work does help the sensory team, but he does it in a communication sense. Ino is both communications and sensory alerts and all these things. She does her own thing that is clearly different.
Yeah.
She has a very different role. So I feel like in, her love story is very different from everyone else in the 9 and so on. So I feel like she really just is the most unique relative to her clan heirs. Now, you could do, like, the kids in this generation have the easiest chance. Frickin' Inojine's art story is completely irrelevant from anything his parents or grandparents did. Shikadai's got the whole Kazekage thing that they're not doing anything with. Chocho is just another Choji copy guy, except she's interested in guys. So let's not give it to her.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, a couple of the other characters, they do a couple of their own things or whatever, but that's not really disconnected from the Ino Shikacho story, in my opinion. Whereas Ino, it feels like she does have story completely separated from Ino Shikacho, unlike all the other 9 members, even if you want to say those other 9 members have their own slight things as well, or at least quirks or whatever. So like Ino, she actively pursues like her flower shop, for example. Through her love of Sasuke, she has a rivalry
Well, that
with
is
Sakura.
a Yamanaka thing. It
Well,
was
yeah,
implied
yeah.
at least that was like.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That was my weakest example. But like beyond, well, not really, because that
Okay.
is like her occupation.
But granted, I'm still fine with it though, because I mean, was Inoichi running the flower shop, or was it Ino's mom who's? We don't even know if she's the real Yamanaka.
Well,
Yeah,
Ino was helping out as a kid, as you know. But like my point there is that like
yeah,
Ino,
she's always been doing the flower.
That's my point though. Is that Ino was always a flower girl first, Ino Shikacho second. Like flowering was like not only her hobby and passion, but like her literal job before Ino Shikacho.
And it's not like we really saw Inoichi doing it to say it's necessarily an Shikacho related thing.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it's very much, at the very least, the passion itself is clearly unique to Ino. Inoichi and Inojin are clearly not passionate flower botanist people. That's
Exactly.
an Ino thing.
And again, it's...
Whereas like Cho eating potato chips is an Shikacho thing. They all fucking do it.
Yeah, that doesn't count for sure, because that is like a Ino Shikacho thing. But like Ino's flower shop, it was like before and after Ino Shikacho. Even though Ino Shikacho hasn't like officially broken up or anything, it's like not together. If that makes sense.
What you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and like Ino has always been with the flower shop. But so again, both before and after Ino Shikacho's reign or legacy, if you want to count for Ino's generation. Then again, a really big, strong piece of evidence here is like her relationship with Sakura is entirely disconnected from Ino Shikacho. So much so to the point that it's like a goal and pursuit, or a goal she is in pursuit of, I guess would be the way to say. Like she trained under.
The same goes for Sasuke, and I guess later Sai.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely separate from Ino Shikacho.
Yeah, and she trained under Tsunade, Tenten's whole thing, just to like have her story with Sakura. Like it feels like that was always
just
what
to
came
keep
first.
up with Sakura's rivalry.
Exactly. Yes, that's not.
And that's also very separate from Shikacho as well. Tsunade has nothing to do with that history.
And again, that's unlike someone like Choji, who, he has things outside of Ino Shikacho. His bond with Asuma. No. He was friends with Shikamaru. Yeah, the other member of Ino Shikacho. Yeah, Choji, he eats a lot.
Like, we know that like Shikaku and Choza are also closed.
Exactly. So that's not going to be a thing. So yeah, I feel like Ino, in terms of like story and just personalness, it applies most to her. The second way of looking at this is funny. You're going to laugh. Ino's name, based on her name alone, is also the most relevant for the because she's Ino. She is.
That'd be like if it was just Shika or Cho. She just is Ino.
Exactly. And like the one that would be most,
which is the ironic part. Her name would imply she would be the most Ino Shikacho because there's no uniqueness to her name. Yet, despite that, she's the one who persevered and wrote her own story. Now that's storytelling right there.
Yeah, she should have the least character because she should be the most Ino Shikacho, but instead it's the exact opposite. She has the most character out of Ino Shikacho.
And like I said, the current generation, specifically Shikanai and Inojin, have the easiest opportunity to break away, in my opinion, just by the nature that their other parent is bringing. I hate to say it, but they have a relevant other parent this time around. And they actually bring a completely new element to the table that would work for this. But this manga has absolutely not done that. There is zero Shikanai Tamari Kazekage related things in the manga. There is no Inojin art story in the manga. If anything, there's more Inojin mind transfer story going on than there is art story. So, like, they just didn't do it, and that was the and that's also the story to do it in, because the writing your own story thing is more of a Boruto thing. That's not to say that's not in Naruto. Not like Naruto doesn't write his own story. It's literally one of the things of the pain arc. Naruto is going to just live the story, but the whole writing your own story thing is really a Boruto theme. So they really should be doing it with Ino, Genie, Shikai, not Ino, but that's who did it the best.
No, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this, okay? There's even precedent in the story itself to have already done this to the point that it is completely wasted opportunity. The whole side branch, maid branch thing, Ino should think this is her destiny, and she's having to claw her way out to fly from Ino Shikacho. Like, it works literally perfect.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the side branch thing exists in the other clans. I think that's just a
Well, no, I was just
and
like saying that like
Tonario's
this is
Tsuki
something
thing.
the story is considering. These ideas
Okay,
in general.
yeah.
Like, it's like Kishimoto had this in mind as he's writing Ino Shikacho because he was writing Neji in the same story. It's like,
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, absolutely could work. That being said, it feels a little goofy to have Ino breaking away from the destiny of Ino Shikacho. Like it's a bad thing.
I mean, she was destined from birth. Her whole name is Ino. That's all she was ever supposed to amount to.
That's hilarious. But anyway, yeah.
Bro, I would make a custom thumbnail for whatever this clip is gonna be. Ino did what Neji could never do, or something. Yeah. We put like Neji's weird tattoo forehead thing on Ino.
Ino broke away from destiny better than Neji, or Ino changed her destiny better than. Or you could even do better than Naruto, just for the meme.
Yes, bro. Like, I need Neji just like pouting in the corner. Meanwhile, like the clan symbol of Ino's like dissipating off her forehead or something. A bird's flying in the background.
That's so funny. Get Naruto explains our.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah. That's so good. Okay.
That's right. He did send me his Twitter. The problem is you have to have like the verified nonsense to message him. I can't message the dude.
That's so annoying. Okay.
I hate that. It's like, well, you're making it hard for people to contact you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that like they set up or if it's just a thing, but no, it's completely annoying.
I think, well, I feel like they set it up because mine's not like that. I don't know if it's like when you hit a certain number of followers that happens or what, but
I don't know. Shout out Immortal. Immortal, you want to come up? I'll invite you. If you want to, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Immortal!
Oh, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Immortal? We're talking about Boruto Chapter 13.
Oh, yeah.
But not the spoilers. We
Yeah,
are spoiling the chapter, but we're not talking about the sneak peek page. In fact, you're not allowed to talk about the sneak peek page, but you are allowed to spoil chapter 13 with us outside of the sneak peek page.
Exactly, because I want to have a Boruto TBV Vortex Chapter 13 spoilers stream, but I don't want to be spoiled. You understand, Immortal?
But so we can do the spoiling.
Shout out Vaughn and Chad.
You don't want to talk about
spoilers?
Do you want me to talk about spoilers, or do you not
no.
want me to?
You can spoil the chapter,
okay.
but you can't talk about the sneak peek spoiler page. Does that make sense?
I guess
so
that makes
hypothetically, if you want to talk about, which we haven't even really started talking about, maybe we should transition to it now. If you want to talk about the hypothetical manifestation of Momoshiki, let's say it's the end of the chapter, you can talk about it.
I did have
but
one...
you can't talk about whatever is on the sneak peek page.
Got you.
Kamui did have one more comment I wanted to read first, just since it's on my mind.
Then that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and if you see my screen, you should both see this. So it's the thing in highlight that I really loved. In fact, I think this is like a compromise for the genetic thing we haven't talked about in months, so we basically already compromised. But like a second compromise. So Kamui, what do you think about? I'll just read the whole thing out loud, but like it's the thing that's highlighted that matters. How far out do I have to zoom out? Oh my god.
I think he means apply, not appy.
It will ignore that. So we'll just read the whole comment. You do realize that Tell Beats resurrecting was a pre-established mechanic, right? The only atypical factor is Kurama returning inside of someone. But it's not something that's completely unexplained. He alleges Dag Himawari had trace amounts of Kyuubi chakra from birth. I think it makes sense for that to apply to all of Kushina's descendants.
I mean,
So, Appy. Okay, so let's just address the elephant in the room. Do you like this? Saying rather than it's because it's Naruto's daughter or whatever, it's because it's Himawari is Kushina's descendants. I do like that. The terminology there, I'm down for this, if you are.
It just depends. Because so Kurama made it clear that she has a greater affinity than any of Kushina's or her predecessors, including Kushina. So why are Kushina's descendants better? What about her descendants makes them better?
Well,
Unless you're talking about specifically just being born inside Himawari. But again, why are Kushina's descendants having this effect?
this isn't necessarily.
If it doesn't make sense how it's explained, then I'm not gonna like it.
No, I completely agree. This doesn't make the genetics make sense, and I disagree with the rest of the comment. So overarchingly, we're still at the same spot in terms of that. But like,
oh yeah, we still have the first part to address after, yeah.
But like, just in reference to in general, Himawari, and in fact, this comment adds the context, being that all are born possessing whiskers, a trait assumedly caused by Kushina and Naruto having lived years with Kurama. So, with that being the context, I do like it that it's Kushina's descendant rather than Naruto's child. With that idea.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't
Kaguramo's
think that makes sense because it's not. Naruto doesn't have whiskers because he's Kushina's child. He has whiskers because Kurama was inside Kushina when she had a baby. Because of Kurama. So.
Well, it is because he's Kushina's child, because Kushina was the Knight of the
Yes, but like, not because of Kushina. It's because of Kurama. That's the problem. But, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. If I don't care if you want to say this makes no sense because she's only quarter Uzumaki or whatever the fuck. I don't care. If they just say, just like Boruto in the anime, you strongly inherited the powers of the Otsutsuki. If Himawari just strongly inherited the powers of the Uzumaki more than anyone else, it skipped the generations. I don't care. Just like Neji just inherited the Hyuga bloodline better than every freaking other Hyuga ever to live. If Himawari is just the most Uzumaki to ever live, despite having seemingly watered down genetics, I don't care. I'm fine. Look at the draw. That's fine by me. And so in a sense, it would tie back to Kushina. It's basically to say she is the most special Uzumaki, and that's why. Totally cool with that. In fact, that might even be my favorite. You throw in the Hyuga nonsense. She's also the most Hyuga of the Hyuga at the same time. I don't care. That's better than the freaking. It's just fate. At least title.
Well, I do. So
but
hypothetically,
again, that one really would be an affinity thing. As for why he reborn inside Himawari, I still feel like the inheriting chakra thing makes the most sense just because the chakra's already there, so he just goes to where he already is, kind of thing. And of course, if you want to say, well, why did Himawari inherit the chakra? Maybe it's because she's the most Uzumaki.
Yeah. Immortal thoughts?
No, I don't.
Is that
really
the end
have
of your
any
sentence?
Okay, well, with that being said, I think it would be much better if Boruto's the most Uzumaki, and Himawari is the most Hyuga, but like the other way around is worse. But like, I'd rather Himawari not be both. I would prefer if Himawari's one and Boruto's the other.
In that case, hear me out. I know if visually feels like Boruto should be the most Uzumaki, Himawari the most Hyuga,
and personality-wise,
it's a little bit of a misdirection. Himawari being the most Uzumaki works for the Nine-Tail shenanigans. Boruto being the most Hyuga can help explain Otsutsuki shenanigans. Why is he a great vessel? Maybe it's because he's so freaking Hyuga. Maybe that's why he's a perfect match for Momoshiki. I don't care. It works in that sense. The Jogan nonsense, maybe it's because he's so Hyuga. Like.
But then there's stuff that works for the other way around as well. The fact that Himawari
having the Byakugan, Boruto having the freaking red hair.
Yeah, Boruto has the Rasengan and all this other nonsense.
Well,
Even
Yeah, I was gonna
Naruto's
say the Rasengan's
personality.
made for Uzumaki. Kushina made it for her.
And even personality-wise, it's just evident. Like, just feels as
Well, I think Himawari's got an Uzumaki personality
what
too,
does that
but
even mean?
quirky, loud.
Bro, if I'm looking at Himawari and I'm looking at Kushina, they're not similar. I'm sorry to say.
Boruto's closer, I'll admit. Definitely, but she's better than Hinata in that regard.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. To that end, it would just make more sense if Himawari had the Jogun and Momoshiki and Boruto and Kurama. But
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. That's not how it is. So
Okay. I guess we'll read the rest of the comment just to read the rest of it. It's also important to consider that Naruto is the first male Jinchuriki to have had children. I've mentioned this in the past, you have as well. I'm more okay with this. I'm not completely okay with it, but of all the things I'm not okay with, this is at the top of the list of being the most okay with. We don't.
I mean, yeah, it's like sure, but it's also just weird. Like,
Yeah.
why does that matter? Like,
Shouldn't. Yeah. We don't know really the ins and outs, what happened, we never did. It's not even understood by characters in verse. Maybe female Jinchuriki pass on the psychiality of their bijuu into the genetics, but male Jinchuriki pass on the chakra or energy / life force.
I mean, interesting theory. I think a better way to work that would maybe be like spiritual versus physical energy. So what the psychiatric thing you were trying to say? And that's a cool idea to play with. The problem is, I just feel like if that's the route they're gonna go, that should have been a pre-established thing for one thing. Like, girls should naturally have better spiritual energy, boys better physical energy.
Yeah.
And that could make a lot of sense. But it's just never been a thing. So to just throw it in now retroactively doesn't make any sense previously. So
I mean,
that's the problem.
History has had it to be where there's one female on the team that's the healer, but I think that's just Tsunade and sexism. So
That's also physical energy related, not spiritual.
Well, besides that.
So yeah. If anything, the girls with the better physical energy by that much.
Literally, yeah. Like that Naruto and Sasuke have spirits
the
inside
Shikas, the shadow possession, spiritual energy, yin release people, they're all guys.
I mean, Ino has mind transfer jutsu, but so does her dad. So
does Inoichi
yeah, exactly.
And Inojin.
Yeah. That's 2-1 right there. Oof.
And then of course on the other end though, Choji and Choza are using physical energy back again, so the males are just dominating in general.
Even that, Naruto was a better healer without actually having known healing.
Yeah. I know, like, Kabuto's like basically the only true male medic in this series.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, let's jump
also, in regards to the first part, when it was talking about something about the pre-established thing, see, the thing is, just to reiterate, I guess for the 100 billionth time, the problem is that in the Ishiki arc, it's not like, again, the whole they always resurrect thing is fine. I would have always thought that if Kurama doesn't have his line of dialogue implying he's going to the afterlife and that Naruto's gonna fucking join him if Naruto dies anytime soon. It's just like, why? And then he comes back acting like he just expected to return. So it's like, why was bro saying that in the past? Just say,
so
don't die because, not because you're gonna join me, but because I want to join you when I come back. That would have made sense.
It's crazy.
Don't die so we can reunite. But instead, it's like he's saying, "Don't die because if you do die, we will reunite." And I don't want you to do that yet.
It's funny because I wrote a thing down earlier. I'm not going to read it out now. I'm going to read it out in a future podcast when we have local W on. Hopefully, we get him on. But it's the idea that when you're debating someone, if they recap the series, they're treating you as if you missed the most surface level obvious details, as if you just didn't watch the series. Yes, we know that happens.
Oh my god, there's so many comments like that.
It's the opposite problem to where rather than we're missing something, you're not going far enough. Yes, we know that. You're the one missing our thing that's the series is contradicting itself. We know at this one point
you
saying
guys
this.
didn't watch the series. It's like clearly you didn't because you didn't notice the thing we're talking about.
Exactly, bro. But we'll get into that in the larger discussion when we have local on or whenever. We'll probably do the
Yeah, we get
driest
so many of
and
those
then
comments though.
with Ultra. Yeah, no,
Whenever we
absolutely.
critique, we get those.
I got a whole thing prepared. This is gonna be a whole 6-hour podcast just on a single topic. I'm telling you,
That's hilarious.
I've got a lot prepared at this point. Yeah. Hey, I have an idea. I have an idea, guys. Immortal, Kamui, do you guys want to discuss chapter 13?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Hey, you guys can discuss it. Cool.
Oh, you mean like the sneak peek? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be gone for like 5 minutes just to let you guys actually discuss it. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just text me when I'm good. I guess
I will just message you when we're done, or
Yeah, that's fine.
actually message me when you are done doing your stuff.
Well,
and then
I'll be
tell you
done
where
way
we're at.
before you just message me.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Give him like 5 seconds to play it safe.
Mm.
All right, so I'm guessing you saw the sneak peek, Immortal.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on. Do you have any initial thoughts you want to start with? We'll let you take it away.
So my initial thoughts of the sneak peek page. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on for a second. Okay. So my initial thoughts of the sneak peek page. Well, okay, after the events of Sasuke being trapped within the God Tree after fighting Code and his Claw Grime army. However, based off of the sneak peek page, it seems like this may have happened maybe right after that, some given point during the 1 year.
Yeah,
he was
it's definitely
right after he
during the
trained.
1
Yeah.
year. I don't know about necessarily immediately after, but because I don't know about you, this could just be an Ikimoto thing. I do feel like Boruto looks at least slightly older, maybe not like drastically, but like just somewhat. I don't know if you would agree with that. Does he look any older to you in this versus chapter 5?
Maybe a slight bit older, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
which makes me think rather than a full year, maybe it's a couple months out. Let's just say half the year. And then he has another half a year with Koji prepping for his return in chapter 1 of the actual time skip part 2. I think he had, I don't think this is necessarily 2 days before he shows up for Code. Like, I feel like he's with Code. In fact, actually, this was an interesting thing I didn't think about. This could be why Code never found Boruto, because it seemingly feels like Boruto was on the run from Code for a while, but then out of nowhere, he just couldn't find him anymore. This could be why, because he got reverse summoned to this hideout, the hideout that Code was just never going to find. I think that would make sense. Now, we don't have an exact timeline of exactly how long Code was looking before he gave up, but somewhere between 0 and 1 years.
Now, based off of this entire sneak peek page, there might be a chance we're going to get like a little bit of some flashbacks, and then we'll skip right back to the present.
What I'm thinking is it's going to be just like chapter 5, because the way they did chapters 4 to 5, you have the reveal of Sasuke / Hidari. And then at the beginning of chapter 5, it's the flashback of basically how that happened, how Sasuke became a tree. So in this case, we end the chapter with Kashi Koji showing off his ridiculous intel, Jura saying, yo, that intel's dangerous, you gotta die. So now they're gonna flash back and kind of show us how Boruto got that info. If we're lucky, how Koji got it as well, but they might hold off on that. So it might just be like Koji talking to Boruto, he's revealing some stuff to Boruto, it's the flashback of that. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And then let's just say, I don't know, 7 pages in, they cut back to the present. I think it'll be like chapter 5, basically.
Yeah. I was trying to say something similar to that.
That's not that part.
So
Generally
while
speaking.
recording this video, it's just like, yeah.
Oh, you haven't even made the video. You just started. Okay.
Well, I am recording it. I'm just having a little bit of problems with the FPS and everything else.
Yeah.
The frames.
Well,
And
they get it
shit.
figured out.
Yeah.
As far as the spoilers go, did you generally like the information or dislike it, or a mix of both?
Well, I mean, I like the fact they're at a Orochimaru's old hideout. That it's I'm still questioning where is Orochimaru to this day.
Yes, so that one is like makes feelings for me because yeah, I like that they're at his hideout, but like the fact that it's abandoned, it's like so it just seems like Orochimaru's not there. So it
Yeah.
puts the question: is Orochimaru going to be relevant or not? I'm really clinging to hope that he does become relevant for every reason under the sun. But it's just like, because hypothetically they don't make him relevant. This is just the meanest things they could have done to the fans. It's just like the biggest letdown ever. I was like, you can't, like, I would put it past them, but like, you can't just do that. Just like you could have had it be the Steam Toad Laboratory could have been the secret place that nobody knows about. It's not like anyone's gonna go there. They chose Orochimaru's hideout. So that's like you gotta cash in on that shit and have Orochimaru show up or something.
Yeah, I like the fact that the frogs are actually just a scientific ninja tool. Because you really wouldn't assume that these frogs would have came from Mount Myoboku.
I wouldn't have said Mount Myoboku. So if they weren't tools, I would say, especially like the freaking camera toads and the ones exploding. I'm like, all right, these are either just straight up machines or they're clones of another toad. If there's gonna be any toad of Kashin Koji's arsenal that isn't a tool, it would probably be the big steam toad, the one that kills Ao, that he usually uses to reverse summon with. Like that would be like the real toad that's probably been modified like a cyborg, but the real toad, and then the others are just modeled after him, whether they're clones or just machines. But even then, the big toad could just be a giant machine. We don't know. But I would like if one of them is real at the very least.
I would say when it comes like okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I looked at your video and a couple of other videos on the sneak peek spoiler page.
Yeah.
I had and in one of your videos in the video you just uploaded about the sneak peek page, I was even wondering about that. I was even wondering about how Kashin Koji was able to, summon these frogs. Where is he getting these frogs from? And is he the one who's engineering the frogs, or was it Amato who did that?
This was
And
weird
so-
because it connected to Amato's glasses. So like there is an Amato connection at the very least, and he calls him a scientific ninja tool. So I would be very hard pressed to call it just like a chakra creation, where he just molds some creation of all things, poofs it into existence, because it's like it wouldn't be this electronic toad thing in that case. But they had to have been made. Kashin Koji doesn't seem like the scientist, robot dude. So I feel like it would have to be Amato in that case, especially since Amato's like intertwined with some of the technology. But the question is, why are there so many? Did Amato really just make like 50,000 of them?
And I think one thing that's kind of crazy is that well, not crazy, but I think it's pretty smart. He uses genjutsu to make the entrance even less visible than it was.
I want to know how that works though. Like what kind of genjutsu is this?
Koji?
Oh, you cut out. Sorry.
Okay, I think this may be because my bad. It's just I don't know if it's my internet or the
Probably know it's me.
Yeah. It's just like, okay. So we know that I don't know how adept. I don't know how adept he is at genjutsu. Whether or
Probably
not he
pretty
could be
good.
an expert, maybe a master. I don't know.
I bet you he's very good, not gonna lie. In the
Mhm.
manga, I believe it, or in the anime. In the anime, it's like implied that Kashin Koji is the one who put Katasuki under Genjutsu, but then in the manga, they're like, oh, it was actually Ao. I don't even know at this point. Like, it's like, why was Koji was right behind Katasuki? So, like, what was he doing if he wasn't putting him under Genjutsu?
Hmm. Oh shoot. Sorry. Uh well, go ahead, say it again. I was distracted for a little bit.
Um, in the anime, Koji appears behind Katasuke, and if he
Mhm.
wasn't putting him under the Genjutsu, then what the hell was he doing? Because they say that Ao did it, but it's like Koji was right behind Katasuke in one of the scenes in the anime. But either
Yeah.
way, I'm sure he's very good at Genjutsu. Just realistically, Koji seems like the kind of guy who's just good at everything.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I don't really watch the how can a Boruto fan not watch the Boruto anime? But I
Bro, I'm
think
not
it's
even
mainly
caught up in
because
the
of the
code
fact
arc,
that
so you know.
yeah, I'm already aware of what's happening in the anime so far. Uh, I think they just finished up the English dub for the code arc.
That's actually how I'm gonna watch the code arc. I think I was gonna watch in the dub.
Yeah. So, back to the spoilers. It's kind of so yeah, it's I think Kashikoji is really good with Genjutsu.
Probably.
I keep losing frames. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop this video. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Right now I'm planning on building a new PC. I'm planning on
From
building like a
scratch.
PC, so yeah, with a better graphics, with a better GPU, CPU,
Yeah.
motherboard, everything. So I can be able to record videos on OBS without having to worry about any missing frames or whatever. Not saying I'm not going to deal with it, but it's just it'll be a lot better than what I got on my laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But oh my goodness. Um so okay. The biggest question I've always had. Okay, what happened to Momoshiki? Are they ever going to show us what's going on with
I
him?
this was a so let's come back to that because there was gonna be a point with Udy to talk about the whole idea of Momoshiki showing up in the end of this arc. That's the
Mhm.
for Act 3 basically. And
Yeah.
the way things have gone so far, I think he should probably show up. And I do think with this flashback, it would also be nice if they mention anything pertaining to Momoshiki, and that could be a good little stepping stone, foreshadowing, whatnot, whatever you want to call it, before getting to Momoshiki actually showing up. But I don't know if they'll be in the flashback yet or if they'll wait on that. But either way, um, actually, that could work really well if you want to consider like a Tenchi Bridge parallel. They mention Boruto's Naruto's gonna lose control because of blah 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 the Four Tails nonsense, and then it happens in the arc. So they could do something similar where they talk about it. Koji's talking about it, and then
Mhm.
later in the arc, I guess in this case, like the next chapter, Momoshiki actually shows up. So they could do something similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we kind of covered the sneak peek. The only other
Yeah.
thing to know is I thought it was funny. Boruto just doesn't recognize Kashin Koji. Like he just couldn't. I don't care if the dude was wearing a mask over half his face. He's got the same beard, the same hair, the same cloak, the same voice, and the same tones. Bro just didn't recognize him. Meanwhile, Koji recognized Boruto off of one encounter. Like bro
Well,
looks different and sounds different from how he used to. He still recognized Boruto. Boruto can't recognize Koji. That's wild.
my guess is probably because, well, he is a cyborg. Maybe his memories are more advanced.
Yeah,
since
but I
he
think
isn't.
Boruto is just too distracted by his karma seal situation and
Yeah.
just forgot everything else. I think that's the only
Yeah.
actual answer, because there's no reason for Boruto to not remember the dude who nearly killed his master, Konohamaru. Like, come on, bro. You don't just forget that. But if it's because of the karma seal activating, blah blah blah, fine. Even then, though, at the same time, that should also be a memorable moment. The first time he activated the karma seal completely was against this dude.
I forgot. When did Kashikoji show up? What chapter?
End of chapter 22, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, end of chapter 22, then 23 is the actual fight with him.
Okay. So here it is. Okay. Yeah, Konohamaru, the whole Rasengan clash with Kashin Koji.
Yeah.
Then he pretty much burns Konohamaru, and Boruto uses Karma Seal to absorb the fire, since it is chakra based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was also when he found out that Boruto had the Karma Seal.
Yeah.
Well, and he also
Well,
figured
either
out
way,
that was the first
I just thought it was
Yeah.
funny. I think we can bring
Yeah.
Oodie back now, unless you had another thing about the sneak
Oodie!
peek.
Oodie, you still there? All right.
Anyway, I messaged Oodie. He said another minute, so he told me to read chat. in the meantime. So, where did we leave off? Why does Kamui sound like a robot, though? I don't know, Wendy Williams, but hopefully I don't still sound like a robot. Gail Leon says, why are you guys not famous yet? Immortal, do you care to answer that?
I've no idea. Are you advertising the
Interesting. It is
channel?
quite the mystery, isn't it?
Well, we're
It might be
advertising
the biggest
it
mystery
on
in Boruto.
YouTube right now, live.
Oodie's
The
back.
public live stream.
Ooh, hi,
No.
Oodie.
Hey, Immortal!
Jura the Jubi, which, by the way, Oodie, Jura the Jubi, this confirms that Jura is the Jubi,
Canonical.
because
I love it.
he didn't have the name otherwise. He says hi.
Oh, hey.
And then Sukuna is a goat, by the way. I never realized that Sukuna was a goat, go bah, but
Goat
Sukuna
Simulator's
Goat
pretty
says
fun.
Kaguya solos the Boruto verse. Just wanted to say that, now I'm out.
Wait, I
Well,
didn't
Why
realize.
are you out?
So this whole time, I've been playing Sukuna Simulator.
Yeah. Yeah. Vaughn said smart guy. And Space said, dude really said Kaguya solo Boruto. Yeah, Space, he did. And according to Vaughn, he's spitting though. Now, Orochimaru PR says, Boruto fought Hidari, who was a complete joke compared to Kaguya. One ash bone to the back of his neck, and he's done.
So I want to address this really quick.
That's one way to get the Thorn Soul. Hidari, I don't care if Hidari is leaks and bounce stronger than Kaguya. He definitely didn't feel stronger than Kaguya.
Well, that's funny, but
did not come
I did
That's
want to
mainly because
address
they
this
kind of scaled down the fights.
because I'm so annoyed at people saying, "Oh, just one bone ash and they're done." Like, how many ninjas in Naruto don't have a one-hit kill jutsu? Like, don't they all basically have a one? Like, yeah, I'm so sick of people. Oh, she just has to do this, and then she just insta auto wins the fight. Like, they don't all have that. Okay, if we're gonna say this about the
Also-
bone ash, I don't even think it's gonna work. Okay, the bone ash did not go through Obito. This is deathbed Obito, whose skin's probably weak at this point, and it's like sticking out of him. So I don't think these bone
Yeah.
ash have the penetration power to, for example, Raikage activates his lightning cloak.
Hidari did it. I don't know, bro. I think he can do Hidari.
Well, okay,
Hidari
Hidari
did that.
aside, I don't care about Hidari because Hidari we could just meme is weak right now. But like,
Yeah, no, but Hidari's clumsy, bro. Bro's just gonna try to dodge, and he's just gonna trip and fall and hit the ash bomb.
literally, yeah. But like, seemingly, if it's penetrating Obito in that moment, Raikage 5 Kage Summit activates Lightning Cloak. He's immune to Bone Ash. I don't really care. Like, Sasuke activates
Yeah,
a single
that one's-
ribcage
okay,
Susanoo.
What about Kimimaro?
That one's tricky
Maybe-
because Sasuke, 5 Kage Summit Sasuke, which is 3 Tomoe, was able to touch the right Kage with his Chidori. So then you gotta say, okay, is that Sasuke's cutting power really better than Kaguya's Ashbone?
I'd say
You
so,
know-
absolutely. You think Kaguya's Ashbone's comparing to a Chidori? I don't see it, bro.
It's possible.
I don't see it. I'm sorry to say it. Like, it's sticking out of
because-
Deathbed Obito. Come on now.
I mean, do you think it's better or worse than Kimimaru? Oh, well, of course Kimimaru's is better. But
Kimimaru's
that side,
omnipotent.
do you think it's better or worse than Kimimaru's stabbing penetration power?
Well, if we're going with Kimimaru's potential, he has infinite potential. If we're going with what he actually used in the show, holding himself back to that extent,
Yeah,
I
well,
think
he was sick.
Kaguya's probably comparable.
Well, I mean, Kimimaru's is undoubtedly better because he's just beating everyone in the verse, but that's another topic.
Because
for
I don't know
another
if
day.
the Bone Ash even like scales up with
shouldn't
strength
even ask.
anyways.
I hate to bring Kimimaru down by comparing him to Kaguya like that, but I feel like the average friend's gonna be like, "Oh, Kaguya's better." No, she's fucking not. Kimimaru solos Kaguya.
No, but I think some jutsu just have a set speed that just doesn't scale to the user. Just in general.
That's fine.
Yeah, so I think Bone Ash could just be
what's
one of
that in
these
reference
'cause
to
it's
specifically?
launching it. Well, for example, just one
Well,
example. I'm not even going to use this
I mean,
necessarily as
Bonash
like
might
the
be
example.
faster, might be slower. Kaguya doesn't come across as fast, so honestly, he might be faster than Kaguya.
Well, because it's not like Kaguya's throwing the Bone Ash; he's launching it, and so I don't see that being like a thing that's like different speeds. But just for example,
Yeah,
like
she's just shooting it out.
yeah, but like Itachi's water bullet jutsu in the data book is said to be light speed. I don't know if you can increase that or decrease that in terms of speed.
Yeah, I mean, even that one though, like, I don't think that inherently means Itachi is light speed or not light speed. I feel like, yeah, like your jutsu speed doesn't need to be faster, slower, or equal to your movement speed. I just feel like Rock Lee's jutsu speed sure ain't as fast as his movement speed.
Yeah. But like, so hypothetically, like
So
Naruto activates KCM against Kaguya. Is he just immune to Bone Ash, considering he just straight up tanked Sasuke's Chidori to the neck? Like, that was a weaker version of Naruto, technically.
I can't remember if we already looked this up, but does the Bone Ash actually need to like get into the skin and penetrate, or does it just need to touch the opponent?
I'm sure
'Cause
it
that
would
does
need to.
Make a difference, obviously.
Like, I think if you're just holding it, you're
I think
fine.
it should need to, but does it need to? Because obviously, when it just hits Obito, it's gonna stab him. It's a freaking sharp sword-like spear. I would hope it would stab him, but does it need to?
Yeah, like if Baryon mode caught the Bone Ash, similar to how Baryon mode caught the whatever Black Rod things.
Yeah, like would that just be bad for Naruto?
I don't think so. I don't see it.
I would hope not, but like, would it? He just dies.
Because I mean,
realistically though, Naruto would just dodge, like, because Kaguya had to bring him into the freaking heavy gravity dimension just to hit them. So,
well, that's the thing,
clearly they aren't
though.
that fast.
Like, they're in the heavy gravity dimension, and Kakashi, before getting Six Paths power, is just jumping in front of it. Like, these things aren't fast.
Well, that was Rin. That was Rin.
Oh
Rin
my
got
God.
omnipotent in that moment.
Okay. Listen, you're not making this better for yourself. Okay, Kid Rin is speed blitzing the Bone Ash.
Kid Rin speed blitz Kakashi's Chidori. She's got tier speed. She just is that fast for some reason. It's gonna make you wonder, bro. Considering how much of a demon assassin just freaking Jonin Kid Kakashi is at this point. Like, why did Rin get captured if she's got this god tier speed feats? Like,
Bro, you know what's
how did
funny?
they capture her?
So this goes back to like our narrative interpretation of the Chidori, that the video that we're gonna make from 2 years ago. So what if it isn't about Obito? What if it was always just about Rin being able to like speed up to catch up with Kakashi or whatever? Kakashi Chidori this whole time.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Anyway, back to should we keep going back to chat or should we just move on?
Well, there's not much in terms of chat that we need to read. I did want to read Wendy's questions because I did say they were pretty good questions.
Yeah,
had
Wendy has a few.
2 comments.
So does a couple others I saw that seemed like actual questions.
Yeah, exactly. Boruto Extreme Diff Koji, I don't know, we'll see in chapter 13. You probably have already seen, but I haven't seen yet. I mean, apparently it's versus Kakashi Koji, but I don't know. So Wendy says specifically Kamui. I don't know why me and Immortal can't join in on the fun, but alright. So Kamui, she does say y'all, so I guess we are included. Do y'all think it's weird that she says Kamui, do y'all think there's an underlying meaning to Boruto's Uchiha style? Is he really as trustworthy as the fandom assumes, or could he have gone a little crazy during the time skip? So I think this is 2 entirely different questions, but I guess we could just answer both of them.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you think the surface layer meaning of Uchiha style is to start. So, I mean, I would say, okay, do you think the surface layer is both the drip that Sasuke wears, and his like fighting style, or do you think it would just be one or the other on the surface layer?
There's no shot he's referring to style as in the westernized version of some rap hoodie guy being like, oh yeah, check out my style, bro, man.
Wait till you see this spoiler and you're gonna question that.
Okay.
Because that's my joke in the start of the video is maybe that was what he was referring to.
Oh god. Well, I mean, we have Konoha style, we have Hokage style, we have freaking every type of style, apparently. It's
Hokage
weird.
Style.
So...
I love that that's a thing.
I know,
Hokage
bro. I was talking to Sage of Thick Calves the other day. Apparently, so I translated a thing that was saying that Hiruzen knows of all jutsus in the village, and that's why he's a professor, not that he knows all jutsu. Sage of Thick Calves 2 days ago found something that it's not that he knows all jutsu in Konoha. This is saying that he's mastered all jutsu in Konoha. So that's a new thing.
I've heard people mention that.
Yeah, that is
I've heard people mention that he's mastered it, which I don't think is the case. I don't think Hiruzen knows Edo Tensei or the immortality jutsu. Mind you, like Hiruzen like knew the jutsu Orochimaru was studying. And he studied this in the Leaf Village initially, at least. So like, I don't think Hiruzen mastered that jutsu.
Well, I was telling Sage of Thick Calves,
bro would not be dying of old age if that was the case.
Well, there's a couple different interpretations for this. He could just master all the jutsu that are like still again known within Konoha at this present moment in time. So for example, Flying Raijin isn't in the village right now. Minato knew it, then he died, so it's not in the village. So he wouldn't know it.
Well, no, it was in the village because Genma and Raido and the other guy knew it.
Well, they know it, but they can't do it. Therefore, it's not in the village.
Yeah, they can. They can do it together. So they can do it as long as they're together.
But they aren't together.
So it is in the village.
Can you show me Genma and Raido together in the village?
Hokage guards. Never mind the third guy. The third guy was just invented. Actually, I think he's in the Sasuke retrieval arc. Actually, he's the guy who wants to go fight the Sound 4, but Shizune stops him. But we don't see him in the tuning exams. But in the tuning exams, Genma and Raido are literally right there. Genma's being the proctor while Raido's being the guard. But Genma was gonna be the other guard if Hayate didn't die.
Okay, listen. Flying Raijin isn't a jutsu, it's a ninjutsu.
Okay, so, but that's but that's actually a good point. I'm glad you said it, as stupid as that is, because Hiruzen might only just know the Leaf Village techniques, like the various Leaf Village, like Leaf Hurricane,
Konoha style.
But he might not know every ninjutsu and get like bro does not know Tsukuyomi. That was for a time was a jutsu in the Leaf Village. He doesn't know Konoha Matsukami.
Well, I don't think those would count anyways. But like hypothetically, say he does know Flying Raijin, he literally just could, and because of Orochimaru's seal thing. Oh, well, why doesn't he just teleport outside? Well, I don't think that's how sealing jutsu should work anyways. For example, Dawn was trapped inside the sealing jutsu for Crimson Ray, whatever it was. He couldn't use his ghost style to get out of that. So, like, maybe it is a thing.
Yeah, because the ghost style doesn't teleport him out, so that's why it would work.
Well, but again, I don't think, like, teleportation jutsu should be able to work from inside of a seal.
That's
field.
fine to say that. Obviously, it does work. We witnessed this, but
Yeah, I know,
it's
but
fine
that's
if it
beside the
shouldn't.
point.
That
Sure,
being
yeah.
said, at Flying Draijin, I think this is an obvious answer. Why wouldn't Hiruzen use it? Because it costs a lot of chakra. Hiruzen uses it once and he dies on the floor. That's why he didn't use it.
It's a good point. There's a couple other interpretations, but we can move on if you want.
Yeah, I mean that's up to you.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, I think it makes more sense that Hiruzen is just aware and understands all the jutsu. In other words, he understands Edo Tensei very well. That does not mean he has ever once used it or tried to learn it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
I think he has
'cause
an understanding of all the jutsu.
in character,
that would be a professor thing to do.
yeah, like in character, there's some jutsu that he just wouldn't use. Like again, like the forbidden jutsu, he wouldn't use it. First of all, it's forbidden. He's not allowed to use it. It's illegal for him to. He would probably be dethroned if he used them.
Yeah.
They're also technically
Yeah.
outside of the village. So technically,
Then that's also true. Like he might just know all the non-forbidden jutsu, but even then, what does that consist of? I mean, yeah, he probably does know freaking shadow possession jutsu, but he don't fucking use it now. Is it relevant that he knows it? No.
Yeah.
Because
Being-
if it was, bro would have used it. The only jutsu that Hiruzen knows that are relevant are the jutsu he actually uses.
being completely honest, and I did bring this up to Sage of Thick Calves, I am going to, for the sake of this, consider the second, as well as the first, but the second in particular, Kakashi Mask episode canon, considering Kishimoto drew the special thing making it canon and all the other things making it canon as well. So, assuming that whole episode in the anime is canon, when they
The
do...
Sukiye one.
Yeah, exactly. So when they do go to that building, I'm gonna assume that building in Konoha is canon, and Hiruzen like knows about it. Obviously, he like reprimands Naruto when Naruto sneaks in. So again, that building has all of the ninja registries, as well as seemingly, I would assume, all of the mission information of every mission that's ever been a thing, as well as I'm also assuming every jutsu in the village. So I'm assuming when they talk about in the village, they don't literally mean like an omnipotent thing of like, oh, Orochimaru learned this jutsu while in the village, therefore it just goes into Hiruzen's mind. Now I'm assuming Hiruzen does know and probably can perform every jutsu within that building. Because it seems like Hiruzen's connected to that building. It's like the
I mean, yeah, and
headquarters.
that's fine, but like again, like what is that going to mean? That's going to be the freaking Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Roof Tile Shuriken, Shadow Possession, Mind Transfer, all that stuff, Expansion Jutsu. Like he probably knows all the Hiden techniques and fancy schmancy stuff, but he's not obviously not doing Kekkei Genkai, which means Sharingan Genjutsu. I'm saying that as a joke. Obviously, he's not doing that. He requires a Kekkei Genkai. He might even know the Gentle Fist style. Is he going to use it? No, because he doesn't have the Byakugan, so he's not going to use it, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I guarantee bro does not know all the forbidden jutsu. Flying Raijin, I don't think he actually knows. But if he did, there's a clear reason why he's not using it as an old man. But he doesn't use it as a young man either, from what we've seen, so I doubt he knows it. I personally think it's more the understanding, but I do believe he probably does know the basic jutsu, or even the freaking Shikadai, the Nara Clan jutsu and shit. Yeah, he probably does know it.
You're gonna find this weird. It's possible you're gonna find this weird. Let me elaborate on this before you comment on this. It's possible Hiruzen knows each individual part of the Flying Raijin, but he can't put it together. So he knows Genma's part and he knows Raido's part, but he doesn't know how to combine those parts to actually do the jutsu. Like a Kekkei Genkai, like Sasuke. Sasuke can do wind style and he can do water style to basically recreate ice style, but Sasuke can't do ice style, if that makes sense. Thoughts?
I like the idea, and I get what you're saying. I don't think that's actually what's going on, though. I think it's just they're pooling their chakra together,
Okay.
and they just need X amount of chakra to do the jutsu, but they each have 1/3 X chakra to use. I think that's all it was, but I like the idea. But even then, though, if you just want to go with the basic chakra thing, Hiruzen might know how to do it. But again, he just doesn't have the chakra to actually do it.
I'm
Maybe
assuming he had the
Hiruzen
chakra though. That's
has
the
to be
thing.
like Genma. He just can't use it unless he's got, he's holding hands with Genma and Raito. Then he can't use it for all we know. But he can't do it by himself.
I'm pretty confident he knew how, or he'd had the chakra to do it. I just don't think he knew how to do it. Is the thing. So again, because I don't think it's like
Yeah, same.
one of the five.
I feel like
different
he should have had
nature
enough chakra to
elements.
use it once.
I think what it's more likely referencing is any of the nature elemental jutsus as well, because Hiruzen, it's stated to have mastered all 5 of the different chakra natures.
And we actually saw this part.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's more of
So I think
likely
he
a
can
thing.
do freaking a fire style burning ash. He can probably do the Phoenix Flower Jutsu, the Fireball Jutsu, the Water Dragon Jutsu, and all that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, he can probably do all that stuff.
All the Uchiha style jutsus.
Yeah. Yeah, he might be able to do the Itachi kunai trick.
I mean, did you see how agile
Which
he
best
was when
Uchiha's-
Orochimaru had him in like the headlock and he's like doing backflips with him? Getting on that roof.
Yeah, exactly. You can do Uchiha style. And back to the question from Wendy. I think Uchiha style really is just referring to the techniques. So mainly the sword and shuriken techniques, which Boruto was already learning in part 1. He just mastered it. And then I think that's what he's actually referring to. Of course, underlying reason things, it could be stupid as it is, Sasuke's drip, but it's probably, I don't think it's anything super major. I think it really is just like, hey, I'm a good student, aren't I, huh? I learned your shit. That's all.
Yeah. So, okay. For the second part of this,
I have a question.
Mhm.
So, okay. I do know that this is a design difference, but at the beginning of the time skip, have you guys noticed a little something different about the Karma Seal than it is like now? Because if we're assuming that in the time skip, Boruto has finally gotten rid of Momoshiki and he's free of his control, but he's able, or maybe Momoshiki still resides within Boruto, but it's just that with the Jodan, he's able to suppress him if you guys want to go with any of that. So you see, those little rings and those arrows around his hands? They're not really there when he activates the Karma Seal.
Kawaki or Boruto, you mean?
Boruto.
Well, Boruto didn't really activate it, so I don't think we can
No,
count
like
that
he did.
because no, but like he didn't get into the rings. Are they basically? I like the way I like to word it is the max of a Karma 1 has the rings around the fingers. That's where code caps off. But Boruto didn't fully activate Karma 1. Like he was like 3/4 there, and as we've seen in part 1. If it's not a perfected Karma 1, there's no rings on the finger. So I feel like you can just explain it that way.
Well, what if it's a reconstructed Karma Seal? I'm not saying this is going to happen. Yeah, for Boruto. I'm not saying if it's Boruto's going to get a reconstructed Karma Seal from Amato, maybe Orochimaru, if hopefully he does get into the story.
Well, what if it is? Continue.
Probably could be a reconstructed Karma Seal.
From who? Amato Koji or Orochimaru then?
I would say Orochimaru more likely, but
wait a minute. Why did you say he doesn't have the rings on his hands? He does. I'm looking at the chapter.
Let me see. Let me go to chapter 1 of the beginning.
Oh, well, it's chapter 9 is when he uses karma.
Chapter 9. No, I'm talking about from the very beginning. Naruto Next Generations.
Kamui.
Oh,
okay. I'm talking about the very beginning of the You see, look at. I know this is I know they kind of changed the design of the Karma Seal, but have you not? But look at the rings. Yeah, I know, but look at the rings on his hand. Is this in chat?
Can you post this?
Now, I think this is the same thing for Kawaki, but that I understand this is a change.
Can you post this?
A design difference for the Karma Seal.
Immortal.
But imagine if that really wasn't. Imagine if.
Or Kamui.
Huh?
Can you post this in chat?
What?
What you're looking at?
Oh, okay, hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me see.
Listen, all I heard was rings, and then my ADHD made me think about Sonic to the point that I don't know what you're talking about anymore, so I've just been tuning out. I was like, oh yeah, I love Shadow the Hedgehog.
Let me show you.
Like you said
like
rings,
Mario
and I
and
was just
Sonic at the
gone.
Olympic Games is what I'm thinking about.
By the way, Kamui, I texted Cam at 11:40 saying, yeah, probably about an hour from now. Texted her just now saying, we're going to need a lot more than an hour. Haven't even got to the moment she can be done. And,
Yeah.
okay.
No, but our rewrite topic was too good.
I know. She texted back saying she's
And I
going to
actually
get
do
coffee.
want you to get, I do want Immortal to present his theory from earlier too as well, since that wasn't about the spoiler itself, it was just
Okay.
while you were gone. But we'll let him do this first.
So the rings? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think I sent it in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent it in chat. Did you guys get it?
Yeah, I mean, he's also got the white part on his hand. Wait, okay, so going with the theory, though, like, this almost looks like it's a half white karma seal, half not white.
It's just because it's activated. So, Kamui, going back to that rewrite for just a second. I hate to take this away from you, Immortal, but just for a second. So,
Now back to you, Immortal.
Okay. So while I went to go do my business, I was just thinking to myself,
What kind of business? The Milo business?
No, the use the bathroom business.
Oh, you have a business for that? That's insane, bro.
No.
Oodie and I would make a lot of money considering how much water we drink.
Okay. What I was gonna say is this. Okay, so I understand this is a design difference. This is like their initial design of the karma seal, maybe, and then going into the chapters, they decided to add the little rings around this around their fingers to like kind of make it look a lot cooler. Let me see. The chapter Boruto also gained his karma seal was around chapter 10. I think he used it. When was the first time he used it? I know this was during
the Boruto manga.
Yeah, and
the first time he uses it, actually uses it, chapter 23. The first time it does literally anything at all, at chapter 15.
When did this come out? This was in 2018. Because when he initially uses it, the rings aren't there.
Okay.
But yeah, because like I said, if you wanted to break down the plot idea that they'll never explain, the rings only show up for the people who have mastered stage 1 of the karma completely. So Code, Jigen, eventually Boruto and Kawaki. But initially they weren't. It was clearly implied like they hadn't fully been drawing out the karma's power. So I think it makes sense. Now, as for why the rings have anything to do with this, I don't know. But like it seems to be a design thing.
Yeah, it is a design thing. But I'm guessing, yeah, I was kind of gonna say that at some given point, maybe they'll go back to this design choice, maybe to represent that, Boruto has fully mastered the karma seal and all of its stages. I don't know how many stages honestly, it's gonna have, but
it could be as simple as they started this fight in base. They're just not going all out yet. Like they're not even using Karma 1 yet. They're using Karma 0.5, and then they're just gonna activate more later. They can just do that.
Yeah.
And then I do feel like that one of these days there's gonna have like a complete their body's gonna be completely fully covered in karma markings, and then I really want to see.
They're like what's the guy Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
Gyro.
Okay. I was thinking Black Zetsu, but sure.
One of these days.
No, yeah, Black Zetsu. Yeah, that would be much better. Gyro.
Go ahead, Amor.
You think when Momoshiki... Imagine if Momoshiki was able to make Boruto have long white hair with the spiky hair, sort of. Let me show you a little bit of some fan art ideas.
Okay.
Well, I still think that the Yamato thought image in chapter 45 of like Momoshiki on Boruto's body is just straight up what Boruto should look like. We're gonna be honest here. That's how he should look.
I guess while you're getting that, Immortal, so Kamui, looking at this panel, so in the right, the headband looks clean. In the left, there are a couple of cracks on the headband. Do you think those cracks are actually there or not? Like, do you think when fighting Jura, Jura's gonna scratch his headband in particular locations, or was these just random details that he just scratched on?
Well, it's definitely the latter. In fact, it might even just be like a hair. One of Boruto's hairs fell on his head. I absolutely think that Ikimeno was just drawing random scratches.
When it's fun to consider,
because it's such a small one. It's not like the one on the left from the scar. Like, if you're gonna just scratch the headband in a meaningful way, you don't give him this tiny ass crack that's inconsistently there.
I know, it's so.
The worst thing you could do.
It is kind of weird though that it's in the left panel, but on the same page, it's not on the right panel.
I know, it's like, bro. Like, it's like bro thought of it after the fact and didn't go back and add it to the first one.
And this is some of like the best that Boruto's ever looked to.
Sorry, got art. He's been doing the art error since page one.
Day one.
Yeah, you guys think that he didn't just forget Delta's rocket boots? Bro forgot his headband scratch literally one panel later.
Man, when he said those time skip designs were going to change, I didn't know he meant this soon.
Yeah. They're always changing.
Even if we're talking about like art in general, if you look at Boruto in the right panel, his ear on the left-hand side almost looks like it's jutting out. Just a little bit. Like it's an inch farther to the left than it should be. He's a lump on the side of his head.
Dude, it's the Sarada ear all over him.
I hate to really
I think
point it
Ikimeno
out.
just doesn't know how to do ears very well. Ears are his weakness.
I guess so, yeah. Hopefully there's no ear close-ups in the future. Okay, but back to Immortals designs.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, since we're talking about the Karma Seal.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this has probably been explained already, but why didn't Boruto spread out the little Momoshiki horns protruding, inwards from out of his hair? Like, show those clear, horns that Momoshiki had in his fused state. Or just, in his base.
Wait. Are you asking, why does Boruto's horn look different, basically?
Well, yeah, but we already kind of have an idea that maybe it's probably because of Shibai. Maybe it's probably because of the fusion of all other of the Otsutskis, since he has potentially both Momoshiki and Kenshiki inside of him. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
and maybe they're probably
the answer is we don't know for sure. It is not explained why this is the case, and not a single character has brought it up either.
Yeah, because you would assume just by looking at the horns, it literally resembles Shibai's, and I really do feel like that's the case. Maybe Boruto may have a little bit of Shibai's power or DNA inside of him. He just hasn't really awakened it just yet. I don't know. I'm just assuming
It's
because
definitely possible.
Because there's literally no way that Boruto would have a horn protruding from his head the same way Shibai does.
What do you mean? There's no way?
Well, there's definitely a way.
Yeah. Who do you think you're talking to, Immortal?
Okay, maybe it's a way.
If there's a way, we're gonna find it.
Mean, it's just okay, and no one's gonna talk about this, hint at this, maybe in the chapters.
Yeah, at the very least, it should have been more of a hint.
Yeah. Immortal, are you not going to post character design?
Because I get the feeling they're probably going. Yeah. Huh?
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were going to post something.
Yeah. Oh, the similarities between Boruto's horn and Shibai's.
I mean, I thought you
I
were.
mean, if it makes you feel better, I have a whole video on that already. But
Yeah.
Moving away from this theory, do you want to get to the Momoshiki part now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the reason why I want to talk about this with you is because of the whole like answer to the arc thing you were talking about, where you said like if Momoshiki's the answer to one thing. I want you to elaborate on that just again before getting into the discussion again.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I was doing something.
I guess you maybe don't really remember. You had said before that like if Momoshiki's the answer to the Shinju, then he can't be the answer to something else or whatever. I want you to word it your way, but that was like the sort of the thing you were saying, if you remember.
Is it solution? I feel like I vaguely
Solution, yeah.
know what you're talking about. Do you know when we talked about this? That might help. Was it at the chapter 12 reaction stream at the end?
I think this happened more than once, but I think it might have happened twice where you brought it up. But we probably did bring it up again in chapter 12. But I wouldn't be able to pinpoint a time.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
All
so,
right.
Yo, what's up, Immortal?
But anyway, Immortal, we won't hold you up all night, so you can get your good night's rest for Milo.
All right.
All right, see ya.
All right. Peace out, Kamui. Peace out, Oodie.
Peace.
Now, back to what you were... Oh, sorry.
Saying peace to Immortal.
Peace, that's what you said, okay.
Yeah. So, again...
the solution thing.
Yeah, here, let me pull up this... I think it was Act 3. Yeah, I think this is it. So, and I'll share my screen as well. This should work. Okay, I'll do this. Okay. This. I think I'm sharing my screen. You can go see this.
Okay, yeah.
This wasn't the same thing as what I pulled up earlier, but
I think you have pulled this up before, actually.
I probably have, but it was.
I do recognize you pulling it. You pulled this up at some point because I recognize the image from you. So.
Okay, I found the right one. Let me close down the other one. Okay.
Also, J-Man was with his brother. He said a few minutes ago.
For some reason, I can't share the window of this one, so I'm just gonna share my entire screen just for this. So here. Okay.
But you're not showing audio anyway, so.
Okay. Well, yeah.
You've also shown this one before.
Yeah, I think this is what I was talking about. So, assuming this is solution B, there's only one thing that can be solution B. Like, again, in the Ishiki arc, I like making this comparison because it was recent and it feels similarly the same thing. It was Boruto, the revelation that Ishiki couldn't kill Boruto. So I feel like, same plot point, I feel like the Thorn Soul is that same idea. And so I feel like Momoshiki can't be used later as solution B to problem B of this. So it could be solution A.
I think Momoshiki would be a solution to a different problem.
Just not the case. Shinju.
So, granted, okay, so looking at problem A, problem B in this arc, I mean, I'll let you answer first. What do you think? I don't care if you want to say which is problem A, which is B. Just what do you think are the two problems for this arc?
So, generally,
which if you want.
Generally, I would say the problems would be omnipotence for Boruto. And that's like making Boruto the main character or whatever. The antagonist would be Kawaki in that case. And then the obvious thing would be the Shinju invading the village and being like unstoppable and just winning targets or whatever.
Yeah, all right, so you're on the same page as me.
Yeah.
So, okay. And in the terms of the order that they're presented in this arc, it's kind of weird because in terms of Boruto, I would say omnipotence is presented first with Mitsuki before the Shinju do anything.
So actually, I'm going to change my answer really quick because I was saying off the top of my head. The problem isn't the Shinju. The Shinju are a roadblock, so they aren't able to pursue an answer to the problem. The problem is the fact that all the people, such as Sasuke, he's really the main one, are stuck in the tree and they don't really have a solution to solve that problem. Now they do. And again, the Shinju were the roadblock to where they couldn't explore doing that, but now they've intertwined that to where the roadblock is the solution all along as well. They just have to defeat the roadblock, overcome the roadblock to get to finding the solution. But in this case, it's almost lazy to where they don't have to defeat the roadblock to find the solution. They defeat the roadblock, and that is finding the solution. It's not two separate things in this case, but that's fine.
Basically, granted, in this case, though, so the way I'm looking, obviously they beat Hidari, but Jura is essentially the problem because, well, he's fucking OP as hell, and he can just snipe you and take the Thorn Soul back. So what I'm thinking is they have Boruto beating Hidari isn't actually solving problem B. So, which is the Thorn Soul Shinju shenanigans. And that's where Momoshiki could come in to solve Jura in terms of the arc. So whether it's just Jura says, you know what? You made me laugh, bro. I'm gonna leave. I don't care. The point is Jura leaves because of Momoshiki in some capacity. That would be solving problem B. However, this, for obvious reasons, isn't going to solve problem A, Boruto's situation with the village. It's only going to strengthen it. And so I think in terms of the solution thing, it would be fine. But there's other reasons why I think it would be good in terms of the identity thing, which is, I don't have this written down, so I just kind of thought about it earlier, and I kind of knew the general gist of what I was going to say. But I do think it would be good to have Kawaki go into Kawashiki and Boruto into Borushiki, not just because of this village situation, but from the identity perspective. Because Kawaki is going to be doubling down on his contradiction. I am in a Atsuki killing a Atsuki. I'm an Atsuki, blah, 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 despite being human, as he's displayed in chapter 11 or whatever, the I'll do what I can ninja-like motto, okay? He's going to double down on being an Atsuki, contradicting his true nature. Boruto, on the other hand, is going to insist that he is not an Atsuki and kind of like contradict it. The Atsuki is going to come out in all its glory. And it's going to be like a failure arc for Boruto, essentially, in this case. He's obviously not going to overcome omnipotence after this shit, right? So it's going to be like the Tenchi Bridge, where Boruto kind of loses in the end.
That'd be the worst thing they could do, so it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's gonna solve it. It's funny, somebody did say in, I might have my YouTube comments, I can't remember where it was. They said, I thought it'd be hilarious though that Momoshiki comes out and he just reveals nonchalantly that Naruto's still alive, regardless of the context of why. Like, he's just the one to expose Kawaki. I think it's hilarious. And hilarious enough, I'm all for it, even though it's so stupid narratively. I'm all for it. But anyway, I just like the idea of, from the identity angle of Boruto and Kawaki's almost like contradictions. It's like Boruto refuses to acknowledge the Atsuki, and it's almost like narratively why he fails and why it comes out. Kawaki, on the other hand, is going to do like the reverse, where he refuses to acknowledge his humanity, which I just think would be good. And of course, they probably would clash in this case, especially if that solves Jura. Like, they have their battle with Jura, he leaves, and then there's just like another, almost like an epilogue battle with Kawaki and Boruto. That could just be interesting. I don't know. Like, it would be cool at the very fucking least. But granted, in that case, okay, how do we solve Momoshiki? But
yeah,
that's a different topic.
Well, so just from every story I've ever seen, I am pretty confident that the Thorn Souls are solution B to the Shinju or whatever. They now have a direction to go. It just feels like it definitely has to be the case. So you don't have to think that. That's fine. I don't think you're going to be able to convince me just because I'm freaking solid in this idea. It just as another example.
No, I can definitely see why.
Yeah, like it's new information. It's a revelation. And it's a direction the story seems like it's about to go into for the next while, seemingly. But like, just for example, with Attack on Titan, I feel like this is a pretty good example comparison for these two. So, spoilers for the Attack on Titan finale. I'll give people a second to click off in case you haven't seen the Attack on Titan finale. So, considering that we're talking about the Attack on Titan finale, okay, so here we go. So, the solution or problems for this, problem A/B is obviously like the rumbling / Aaron. So in this case, solution B for Attack on Titan's finale is killing Zeke. Finding Zeke and killing Zeke. That stops the rumbling. That doesn't stop Eren, as we know, as we saw.
Eren,
yeah. They stopped the rumbling. That was no longer a threat. That never came up again. They had fully stopped the rumbling. That doesn't matter, necessarily. Really, I guess solution A would be, if not Eren, then the worm, if you want to count that. But,
so, no, but so this is the kind of the thing, though. It's, like, I feel like you could say defeating the Shinju is the way to... It's the solution to get the Thorn Soul, which is how you free them. So it just depends on whether you want to call the Thorn Soul or defeating the Shinju as the solution B.
I mean, I feel like Momoshiki...
Because it's basically the same thing, but it's not.
I want Momoshiki to be around for a while. Like in JJK Season 2 Shibuya, again, spoilers in case you would click off, but in JJK Season 2 Shibuya, how your boy was around for a long time. Big demon, bad guy, main bad guy. Sukuna. Yeah, Sukuna was around for quite a while in that arc.
Oh, yeah, you say it.
With Momoshiki, he seems to come more in moments rather than sticking around. I'm afraid they're going to do that, even if I want to be there for several chapters. But I feel like he would have to be here for several chapters if he's just going to, like, come out this chapter to fight Jura, and he's going to stay out even after Jura.
So here's two things I'll say. Number one, this is the Debbie Downer approach, the pessimistic look. Fucking every single fight in Two Blue Vortex lasts for not even a full chapter. Why on earth would you expect much from Momoshiki? Okay? Your best case scenario, one chapter Momoshiki versus Jura, one chapter Momoshiki versus Kawaki. I hate to say it, it is just the truth. Okay? You gotta accept it. That's how it is. The second thing, well, that would be 2 chapters, not 1 chapter. The third thing, honestly, in theory, if Boruto can't regain control on his own, especially because if Kawaki fighting Borushiki keeps the resonance going that makes Momoshiki come out, Momoshiki could theoretically just, like, I guess, leave to do whatever he wants. The point is, he could just stay out, even for a whole ass arc if he really wanted. And they just need to find a different solution, because honestly, that's gonna raise the... You want to erase the conflict in this arc? There you go. Maybe Momoshiki goes after Code for whatever reason, and that's how we bring Code back into this. So I think there's things you could play with to just have Momoshiki stay around. Because, I mean, without knowing the direction, it's hard. But, like, I mean, honestly, we don't even know what the next arc's gonna be about. Like, honestly, we just have no idea. I feel like it was pretty easy to tell between Ishiki, Code, Prophecy arcs. Granted, we haven't gone to the end of the arc to really set up the next arc. I know, I get it. But it was pretty easy. This one, I just really... we got Code, and if it's not Code-based, I don't know, Borushiki-based, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Boruto's not despairing.
It shouldn't be the Shinju again. You know, it's not like you have the pain arc followed by the pain arc, okay? You don't do that.
But because Boruto's not despairing, I feel like he is just going to wake back up. Again, they just haven't explained in a way to where I really know what's going to happen. I can't really point to anything because Prophecy arc just messed up any theory on Momoshiki I could ever have.
I feel it.
It just feels like, they could do anything. That's the problem. There's no sense of guessing. They could literally do anything, and that is a problem.
I mean, and the other thing is, I mean, like, truthfully speaking, Boruto just does wake up with... the Momoshiki thing's inconsistent because, okay, Chapter 43, he just woke up. Retroactively, you could say he absorbed some chakra. So yeah, he was on a timer for like 1 minute, basically. That's fine. Chapter 53, pretty obvious. The whole plan, make him absorb chakra so he wakes up. Then you have chapter 65 and 66. Bro just wakes up. No explanation.
Yeah.
He just does.
Exactly.
Chapter 78, either Boruto just woke up or Momoshiki just went away. We don't know which.
It's not like he's absorbing chakra. It's just a random time limit. But then it also seems like Momoshiki can just take over at any point anyways. Why can't he just stay in control if that's the case?
Yeah.
It
doesn't make sense, especially the chapter 78 one, because Boruto seemingly didn't take back control. Momoshiki seemingly just said, I'm gonna go back and let you do your thing
for some reason, for no explicable reason.
You just can take over. Stop trying to make him despair. Just do it, bro. Just take over and make him despair. But anyway, with that in mind, though, in chapter 66, bro just woke up, not because he absorbed chakra. So yeah, he could just do that again, and
Mhm.
it is consistent. As inconsistently bad as that is, it is somehow consistent. As
Yeah.
inconsistent as it is, makes no sense, but it's the truth.
Now,
So yeah, I mean, it really could be anything in that regard, and I'm not gonna comment on it from that perspective. I just think Momoshiki coming out and doing something bad is just a good thing for the story right now. It works with the identity thing, especially in parallel to Kawaki. It can be an answer to Jura for this arc, and it would not be an answer to Omnipotence. If anything, it's going to make that worse. Which, again, Boruto seemingly just freaking winning left and right, freaking convincing everyone to be on his side, seemingly. Even if they're being assholes like Konoha or Nishi. So, I mean, at the rate he's going, how the hell is Omnipotence going to be a lingering problem if something doesn't set him back?
yeah.
The only thing that's going to set him back is Momoshiki, bro. There's nothing else to set him back at this point.
The thing
So
is,
that's kind of the thing.
So they did this in JJK with Sukuna, where him coming out isn't necessarily a good thing. Pretty much at every point, it's always a roadblock. Like in the first time he comes out, basically, or even second time. After he finishes killing off that special grade demon, he goes after not demon, the curse. He goes after Megami or whatever. It's like every single time Sukuna comes out, it's always bad for the good guys rather than good for the good guys, because it's not he's just gonna defeat the bad guy and that's it. Like versus your boy, the one I hate, Mahito. Yeah, Mahito. It wasn't necessarily good on that instance.
And Jogo.
Well, I was thinking Jogo. I was thinking Mahito in season 1, towards the end of it. But either way, bringing that to Boruto,
Yeah.
even in the Ishiki arc that I always love mentioning, so Ishiki makes Momoshiki come out. It's not like we're gonna get a Momoshiki versus Ishiki fight. It's not like Momoshiki is the one who defeated Ishiki or helped lead to that narratively in any kind of way. Again,
Well,
Momoshiki
to be
is
fair,
only
though,
a
if they
roadblock for the
didn't
good guy.
beat Ishiki, he may have. He might have if he needed to, though.
I don't think he would have. I think Ishiki just would have fed Kawaki. Because again, it's against clan rule or law to kill the Notsuki or whatever. So
Bro,
either that or
Momoshiki does
Momoshiki.
not care, bro. He would easily
I was
kill
talking about for
Ishiki
Ishiki.
if he wanted to.
I was talking about for Ishiki.
Ishiki was gonna feed Momoshiki. Wait, what? What are you saying?
Yeah, but he had Kawaki around too. It's like hypothetically, assuming he couldn't have
Ishiki
placed...
wasn't gonna feed Kawaki.
He
Why would
wasn't
he feed
planning on it, but
Kawaki?
he wouldn't mind doing it if he couldn't place his karma on
Yes,
Kawaki.
he would. He wants to resurrecting Kawaki, bro. It's not.
I'm
Why
saying
would
if he
Ishiki
couldn't...
feed Kawaki,
I'm
who
saying
he wants to
hypothetically if he couldn't put his karma on Kawaki, as he didn't.
then he
doesn't
just dies.
Well, the point is, he doesn't care about Kawaki. He cares about feeding Inotsuki to the Ten Tails. So as long as he's alive, it doesn't matter who he does it to. Like, hypothetically, if Code's karma just spontaneously works in the future and he can resurrect, he doesn't care. He's going to feed Kawaki.
Okay, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, but that doesn't have any relevance to what I said.
What you said was in reference to something I was saying
was...
offhand, which didn't matter to my point anyways.
That's fine. I was just saying that, which is fine. You can say I was just saying that if they didn't beat Ishiki, I personally could see Momoshiki stepping in because he doesn't want to get fed to the Ten Tails, obviously. So of course he's gonna try to stop Ishiki if he needs to.
But again,
he just didn't need to in this.
That's a hypothetical.
He killed Boro because he had to.
Yeah, but that's a hypothetical using the characters in universe. We don't even need to do that because we're talking about the story, not in universe. And this is a hypothetical, not what actually happened. I'm referencing what happened.
I know,
but story.
Yeah, but you were saying that he didn't. I was just saying, well, I think he would have if he needed to. That's all.
But it doesn't matter because he didn't, which is the point for the author and viewers.
I don't even remember what the point. Anyway, but getting out of that.
You've interrupted me before I got to the point. The point is, Momoshiki even was awake. He just purposefully wasn't doing anything. The point is, they're not gonna use Momoshiki.
Just does whatever's convenient to him.
Boruto's not
using. Boruto wouldn't be using Momoshiki in this case. Hypothetically, Kawaki could, or Kawaki could just use the horn to fight Jura, and at the risk of Momoshiki coming out, he just says, "Screw it, this is all I've got," kind
You
of thing.
clearly
That's
don't
another
want me to get to the
possibility.
point.
The point
so you
is,
don't even deserve the point anymore. Take that.
Wait.
What? Tell me I'm
what's your
wrong.
point?
Oh, so now you care. Yeah,
Sounded like
I want you
'cause
to
you
beg
said-
on your knees.
Because you were talking about the solution thing. I was saying it's not Boruto's solution. It just happens to work in the end.
The point
far as Jura
is
goes.
that Momoshiki comes in after the Ishiki problem has been dealt with, and that Momoshiki is a roadblock. And again, that also works from like the plot perspective of Ishiki is credible a threat enough as
Yeah.
it is. You don't need to add more elements there for the main
Okay.
characters
Then
to
how about
overcome.
this?
Same
Okay.
with Jura now.
How about this then? I'll offer you a different one then. What if Kawaki is the solution to Jura, and he just so happens to lead to Momoshiki coming out?
That's what I'm saying, is that Momoshiki is going to come out afterwards, if that's going to be the case. Because I don't think Momoshiki is going to be a roadblock to them defeating Jura. I think if Momoshiki comes out now, he would have to need to fight Jura, or want to. But I feel like that would also be out of character.
He definitely could.
He's not going to care about the Thorn Soul.
But, I mean,
unless
I
it's
think
gonna
he
benefit him.
No, I think his reason for fighting Jura would just be because Jura wants to kill Boruto. But I could also see Momoshiki is the wild card. The problem is, if Momoshiki doesn't fight Jura, and he teams up with Jura, there's no way they're winning that fight.
I mean, Jura wants
he
the
kind of has to fight
same
Jura.
thing that Boruto does, feed Kawaki to the Tentos. Like, that's more important to both of them right now.
No, because Momoshiki can just do that by himself, though. From his perspective, he's not going to let the guy who has to kill him.
I mean, Code can do it by himself. Code's literally out of character doing this right now. Don't put it past these writers, bro. It's what they would do.
Okay, yeah, you got me with that. But I do think, though, that from Mobushiki's perspective, hey, this dude's trying to kill me. He's really strong. Let me take him out. I think that's understandable logic for him to think that way.
I mean,
That being
Momoshiki was
said,
trying to team up with Code in the Code
if-
arc, at least temporarily. Take out Naruto or whatever.
But yeah, he starts out trying to take out Code, and then Naruto shows up and he changes plans.
Yes, they'll make a temporary alliance.
So in this case, yeah, but my point is, in this case, Momoshiki can start out trying to take out Jura, and then afterwards be the bad guy. Let's just say he just makes Jura leave, and then he starts to be the bad guy. Similar thing.
In fact, it's not real. Again, this is kind of out of character anyways for Momoshiki, because considering Momoshiki's character in the Code arc, why didn't Momoshiki make a temporary alliance with Deathbed Ishiki, who is dying and can't do anything 2 minutes from now? Help him kill Naruto and Sasuke. It's like, who cares?
Honestly, yeah, he should have just killed Deathbed, especially when, honestly speaking, Momoshiki should have just shown up and killed Naruto when, like, Ishiki was doing the countdown and stuff with Kawaki, the Shadow Clone Jutsu nonsense.
That's what I'm saying.
Momoshiki should have just off guard killed Naruto and Sasuke while they were distracted with that, and just let Ishiki do his thing and just, like, be like, oh, worst case, I'll just kill him real quick.
Plus, like,
because
literally,
he can just kill Kawaki after anyway.
Again, logically, it makes sense. Kawaki came out because Naruto's life was at risk. If Naruto's dead, his life isn't at risk. Logistically speaking, it just makes sense to kill Naruto to make sure Kawaki doesn't come out so Ishiki can't find Kawaki.
Yeah, so...
Again,
yeah, okay, you got me there.
Exactly.
Kodachi wasn't writing that part. But anyway, I like the way you're thinking there. Yeah. So anyway, I think regardless of that, there is one glaring problem with what I'm about to say that I'll mention after. But I would be fine with Kawaki, Karuto Kawaki, in some manner. Maybe it's because he's really strong. Maybe it's because he intrigued Jura. I don't fucking know. If he's the solution to Jura, and then Momoshiki comes out after,
a relation to Solution A. I'm fine with that. The problem, though, is, as we saw in Chapter 9, as soon as Kawaki activates Karma, Boruto's activated too. So, like, this doesn't make any sense unless Kawaki's far enough away to make that not happen.
I mean, Jura's still far
unless
away.
Momoshiki wakes up and just plays asleep again, like okay, that could work, I guess. He just plays dead again and then shows up. Okay, there we go.
Again, this works because Jura's far away. So, like, Kawaki can just go away, but, like...
Okay, yeah, he could fly over there. Okay.
But
okay,
still, it doesn't make sense why Jura would let him do that. Snipe it at any point. So it really makes no sense for Jura to just not have the upper hand no matter what.
It doesn't make sense why Jura just let him be Hidari either.
Yeah. Dude, watch. Oh my god, imagine how ridiculous it's gonna be if Jura now uses the claw marks to go to, like, in the middle of that battlefield. For no reason.
After Hidari's dead. Yeah. Instead of just getting there to snipe Boruto up close.
Yeah, just surrounding himself in between all of these people.
That's actually very, very dumb.
And then, like, Konohamaru and all of them are actually just overwhelming him, and he just doesn't run away. Unbelievable. No, but I think if we're going to go this route regardless, I need Himawari to wake up, because Himawari, if she is a protagonist, Sarada as well, the Deuteragonist, if you want to say, having to go against Borushiki in this conflict, it's, like, necessary for both of them. So if Borushiki's coming out, you know Himawari's waking up.
Just having to see Borushiki, even, that alone is necessary, I think.
I feel like seeing, yeah, but
Same with Sarada.
Yeah, but at least just playing some active role in general. It doesn't have to be like a direct fight. I agree.
They should both play an active role, but I'm just saying, even just seeing is huge. But I think both Sarada and Himawari should play an active role in trying to stop Borushiki, whether they fail and he goes into the next arc or whatever. But I think it's good it's Sumarai even, for that matter.
Yeah. Because they're the ones who need to be the ones to overcome Borushiki in whatever regard that happens to be. I feel like that should be an after Jura thing, too.
Yeah.
Again, it'd just be really weird if Borushiki just came out during Jura, then just stay. Like, that's a little bit long. And again, it's kind of weird that Borushiki would be going after Jura outside of, oh, he's gonna kill me. Like, I feel like...
Honestly speaking... So this is where the problem with Borushiki versus Jura comes in my opinion. Unlike Borushiki versus Boru, or even versus Code, I do not think that we should. I really narratively do not think we should have Borushiki just stopping Jura and making Jura leave after a couple of pages. Not that I wouldn't put it past the writers, but Jura is not the character to do that with. He is the really, really strong antagonist for us to fear.
Yeah.
Not Momoshiki at this point in time. You can do that to Boro, but just as you don't do it to Ishiki, you don't do it to Jura. You could have done it to Hidari, but you don't do it to Jura. Because of the granted, even Kawashiki doing this to Jura is already like, huh? But, like, I'm running out of answers to Jura, so...
Well, Jura's strong,
besides Damon, who doesn't care?
Yeah, we cannot be thinking about it from the plot perspective of how you can physically defeat Jura right now. You have to be thinking of it from the narrative perspective. Because, again, imagine how hype back at the time it would have been to have a Borushiki versus Ishiki, and then Borushiki is the one who defeats Ishiki in this climactic, epic, generational battle. If you do that, you take away the countdown, you take away Ishiki hugging Kawaki, and that whole dynamic of Kawaki killing Ishiki. You take all that away, which is the story. The whole core of the soul.
But it made sense in that case because of what's in the plot about Ishiki dying. There was a plot reason for that to work.
Yeah, but you can't just take that away. Like, again, I feel like with Jura, of all the possible ways they have set up, or that we have set up to defeat Jura.
You can't just take that away.
Yeah, that's the
cheapest... But it
cheapest...
needs to make sense, too. That's why it shouldn't be Damon, though.
The cheapest and laziest way. Again, you don't have to physically defeat Jura, in my opinion. You don't have to kill Jura. You don't have to make him retreat or whatever, because he would just come back.
You're just going to make him leave.
Yeah.
I think they shouldn't physically defeat Jiraiya. I think they just need to make Jiraiya be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave because of whatever curiosity thing. Maybe they could. This is stupid, but maybe they convince him that he should go after Code. You know, like I don't care, but I don't think they should beat up Jiraiya because I just don't want Jiraiya to already be, I guess, weak. Like I want him to feel like a looming threat.
But whatever the solution to Jura is, I don't want it to be Momoshiki. And I don't want Momoshiki to even play a role.
I personally like Kawashiki. It's just a little bit, how is that going to work?
That's fine.
Maybe it's an identity thing to where, this is so stupid. Kawaki's like, I am an Atsuki Atsuki. It's like, wow, you found your identity? That's awesome. Let me leave. But like, I don't know how they would do it in that sense, but I like Kawashiki solving problem B and exacerbating problem A, which they need to find a solution to. And the solution isn't going to be like an actual solution. It'll just be like a temporary solution. Let's just say Kashin Goji shows up, does XYZ sealing jutsu, pill throw jutsu, and Boruto goes back to normal, okay? That sounds stupid, of course, but the point is it's not a real solution in that case. Momoshiki can just stay out too. I don't care.
Let me do the part
I like
that
Kawashiki being the solution to Jiraiya. I'm not gonna lie. I want that dude to freaking whip out that horn already.
So because you're saying this, I'm gonna assume the spoilers isn't what I think it is. But yes, let me transition to the part that I said I was gonna gloat about. So I've been complaining all freaking month, that freaking Koji Toad has been doing absolutely nothing in this fight against Hidari or whatever. It was so annoying to me. And now, the Toad finally has a chance, once again, to do anything at all. Because Koji's in the spoilers. I don't know what the spoilers is. I'm just going to imagine Koji's going to do something to save, quote-unquote, Boruto in some regard, which means I don't think Boroshiki's going to come out. I think he's just going to heal. If Kawaki activates his Karma Seal, he can just run away again like he did the first time. I don't see why that wouldn't be changed this time. So, even if that's assuming he even comes back. Like, I'm assuming whatever Kashin Koji does, I don't know if he knows flying Raijin or not, or whatever. I don't even care how he gets away. He's gonna freaking open an Otsutsuki portal. He's Kashin Otsutsuki now. So I don't care how he does it. He's gonna get Boruto away and back to Orochimaru's lair. That's my guess. My assumption. Because, I mean, you've mentioned it before in your title. It's Boruto versus Kashin Koji. And, like, as someone mentioned earlier, Genjutsu. Maybe Kashin Koji's under Genjutsu, wants to kill Boruto. Maybe Jura's shot is actually a Genjutsu bijuu bomb. And now Boruto's on Jura's side. I don't know what it's going to be. Somehow, Boruto's going to get away, and that might lead into something else. And in fact, maybe this is why Jura leaves. Because he's chasing after Boruto, who left. I don't know. Possible. But you don't have to confirm or deny any of that. I'm just throwing that all out there. I'm just glad the freaking frog is seemingly doing something.
Then, under that hypothetical, though, then you would agree that defeating the Shinju would be the problem B and slash the solution B, not the Thorn Souls. Because making Jura leave because Boruto left clearly isn't the Thorn Souls. It's making the Shinju leave.
Well, why wouldn't that just be solution A?
Then omnipotence can't be solution A anymore, then.
Well, I mean, the Thorn Soul can still be solution B. Why couldn't it be that?
Well, then they just didn't solve solution B, then.
What do you mean?
Because they didn't get it.
Well, solution B is the...
They'll have the Thorn Soul.
No. Solution B isn't the Thorn Soul. It's the revelation of the Thorn Soul. Like, again, solution B for, like, Boruto versus Ishiki. Boruto being immune to dying against Ishiki isn't what inevitably defeated Ishiki. Like, that's not what stopped Ishiki. That's not what overcame Ishiki, is the fact that Boruto's immune or whatever. That's just the direction.
No, but it delayed
based on the
things.
information. Yeah, but again, based on the information, that's the direction that the plot sort of went into. At least from Boruto's perspective, for a little bit. And
but
so
then if Boruto just...
It doesn't matter if it's an actual solution or not.
I
The
guess
point
it
is
can
the
go
revelation
into that
more.
direction in future arcs if you want to go that way. But if Boruto just leaves and then makes Jiraiya leave, it's certainly not going in that direction in this arc.
When I say Jura leave, I don't mean literally immediately. I don't care how or why. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. He just doesn't know Boruto left. He's focused fighting Kawashiki. He only realizes afterwards.
So I'll ask a different question. Let's just say Kawashiki is fighting Jiro.
Mhm.
I mean, let's start with that. Do you like that for the story? Yes or no? Kawashiki versus Jiro. 1v1.
I would have liked if it was 2 chapters ago.
I agree. But let's ignore that for a moment.
Right now, it's fine, but there is a slight twinge taking away from Kawaki himself, I feel, if he does that. Because it's almost relying on the Otsutsuki powers, which it seems like they've sort of gone away from that.
That's
or like,
what he does.
I know, but it feels like they've sort of either gone away from that to some extent, whether or not it's Kawaki's intention or not, or if it seems like they're trying to do something with Kawaki, where I feel like just going back to that would negate whatever they were trying to do from the author's standpoint.
I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I feel like, I mean, Kawaki does start all these fights in base using ninja tech or dojutsu Otsutsuki stuff. He doesn't initially go to the karma seal like right off the bat, but when he's resolved, like, I'm an Otsutsuki killing Otsutsuki, he does. So what you could say maybe from a character thing is because Kawaki hates the Otsutsuki, it's almost like part of him doesn't want to use it. That's the human in him.
They're not doing that,
But he's gonna double down at the end of the arc. That's like his resolve moment, kind of like Code arc when he uses it against Code and Borushiki, to where he doubles down. No, I am an Otsutsuki killing Otsutsuki.
I'm not doing
And
that.
I could see them doing that.
No way, bro. Be the worst character
also,
arc they've ever done. Even if they did it right, that character arc is just bad for this arc for Kawaki.
I mean, I agree, but like, what are you gonna do with Kawaki's base, bro? Bro is getting bodied in Karma 1.
Oh my god.
With Jura's not trying.
Yeah,
just have him
Naruto got
use
bodied by Lee.
Base
I'm sure base Naruto wouldn't get bodied by Lee the second
no
time.
base Naruto, Pari Konoha Crush, is beating full powered Lee.
We don't need him to defeat him. No one beat Ishiki.
Okay, overcome.
Like, even
what do you want? The most anticlimactic thing to where Kawaki talks to Jura and that's it?
no, they can still fight. He can fight him in base and like contend with them and
No,
then
they
lose.
can't, bro. He's gonna one-shot base Kawaki. He one-shotted base Kawaki. He's gonna snipe him in the face, snipe out his eye, and Kawaki's dead.
That is so freaking ignorant, bro. After
No,
the
it's not,
Naruto,
bro.
how
Jura
is that
is
not the
wrong.
Naruto and Lee example? Why do you think Naruto and Lee would just do better the second time, but not for Kawaki and Jura? We've been over this.
Because Naruto was being goofy in the first one. Kawaki was being goofy.
So
Also,
it's gonna go the
Naruto grew
same way
stronger
to the first
and-
time.
And Naruto is just inconsistent anyway. Like, he just is that bad in those situations, and he just is that good when he's fighting, Gaara. That just is Naruto. Kawaki is more consistent.
So you think 10 out of 10 times Kawaki gets one shot by Jura? There's no chance, no opportunity, no shot,
He
no
might get two-shot.
possibility. Oh my god. You're no fun. You know
The
that?
point is he gets defeated, like, quickly. Like...
What was the point of
He's
Delta's
not
whole
actually putting up much of
conversation of, oh, well, what can you do? Like, what's the point of including that if you're just gonna get one shot anyways? Base or not, I don't care.
Exactly. That's why he's going to use Karma, so that he doesn't just... Because hypothetically, he goes into base. He gets basically one shot, but he's like barely conscious and uses karma, and then he's back to normal. Okay, in that case, the point is he's not gonna stay in the base for super long because at the end of the day, base Kawaki didn't fight Jura. He already lost, like Delta said. He's insisting I'll do what I can. He doesn't do anything. What is he gonna do? I mean, honestly, just I know you don't want to go into the plot, but like, what is Kawaki gonna do in base differently from last time? That's gonna work.
Scientific ninja type.
I sure as hell know that Jura is dodging those rods.
Okay, scientific ninja tech or something that he did to Hidari. Try and blow him up. Again, like, you say it like we haven't seen this before.
That's probably no Jura will just tank it.
Code could have a one-shot Kawaki.
Bijuu bomb exploded instead, like he did with Himawari's Bijuu bombs.
Okay. Code could have a one-shot Kawaki. He beat him up. Kiba beat up Naruto. What Naruto? He just kept standing back up. The point is they're just going to write it to where he's just not going to pass out this time. He's just going to keep... There's not going to be a water tower for his back to ram into this time.
So, I mean, whereas, yeah, I get what you're saying. Two things, though. One, Kawaki isn't Naruto to where they constantly write him as the guy who just keeps getting back up no matter how many times you hit him. Kawaki has been written, canonically, as the type to get knocked out. It's happened multiple times.
Not in the Code arc. In the Code arc, he was written that way. In the Code arc, he was resilient.
Beat him that hard, bro. Like, kicked him in the face.
Bro! Are you forgetting the scene where he's, like, holding his hair right in his face and Kawaki's looking at him with those resilient eyes?
I'm sure you've been knocked out by getting your hair held. Freaking Sakura wasn't knocked out by King doing the same thing.
Literally missing the point. It's not about the hair holding.
It's not gonna knock him out.
Obviously, it's not about the hair
holding. The hair holding technique's not a knockout move.
Kamui. You know it's not about the hair holding. Because you know there's no possible way my genuine take is I'm thinking Kawaki wasn't being knocked out by the hair holding is impressive. There's no way you think. You're just trying to make my argument sound dumb. You don't think that's what I think. There's no way.
No, what I'm saying is that Code did hit Kawaki, beat him up that badly. Like, yeah, he beat him up, but he didn't, like, go hard. Like, he was kind of just dogging him, but, like, it's like early Kiba fight. Like, he's just hitting him a little bit. Like, he wasn't, like, trying to, like, kill him or any nonsense. Great, Jura won't either, but Jura's totally cool with just knocking him out.
He was the first time. He might not be the second time.
But I'm just saying, you have Kawaki. Honestly, I don't like having Kawaki get bodied in base by the evolved Claw Grime, then get bodied in base by Boruto, then get bodied in base by Jura, and then somehow magically is not getting bodied in base by a harder trying Jura.
Have him use frickin' ninjutsu, bro. Go in with the shadow clones. Use the fireball fire style jutsu.
Walky doesn't do it anymore. He has stopped using ninjutsu.
He can use it. It'd be fine.
Yeah, he can, but he doesn't. Just like
if
Ow in the hour.
Pushed into a corner, he could. Because again, what are you gonna do?
Narratively, I don't think Kawaki will, because I think Kawaki is trying to essentially cast aside his humanity ninja to be a Suzuki, because that's just what he thinks he needs to do. Which is why he won't do it.
I don't think he would have. I now think if he's pushed into a corner, he will, considering what Delta said.
I think he's going to use the karma, if anything.
Yeah,
not
again,
ninja tactics.
Either way. The point is he's desperate. He's going to use something. Whether it's karma, whether it's ninja tactics. I feel like using the karma...
it's going to be karma, in my opinion.
Using the karma is like not a cheap way of doing it, but it sort of takes away Kawaki earning defeating Jura. It makes it feel less like Kawaki and more like a power that he happens to rely on. In the same way the Four Tails defeated Orochimaru. But that's more intertwined to Naruto's rage. So it's more like because Orochimaru made Naruto angry about Sasuke, Naruto defeated Orochimaru through the Four Tails. In this case, it just feels like it's Ishiki's power defeating Jura, of which so Kawaki happens to be the one using.
Yeah, but in this case, I hate to say this, but I almost don't think the point is for it to be Kawaki earning it in the same way as like other arcs, like even Kawaki in the Code arc. I feel like it is. I mean, granted, even in that case, it kind of is just the same thing, but it is different because it's Kawaki overcoming his Karmasil fear nonsense shenanigans. In this case, it's kind of different because we don't even know why he doesn't immediately do it anyway, which is another problem with this arc. But
yeah, I don't think it needs to be Kawaki to be the one.
I mean,
to
honestly,
earn it.
then at this point, if this isn't the answer, I don't think there's any good answer anymore.
Okay. Well, I don't need it to be Kawaki. In fact, I don't think a single person should be the one to earn it. In fact, it's still going to be at
I
least
agree.
partially Kawaki. It's even mostly Kawaki who would quote-unquote earn it in this case. It's just taking away a small bit to where it's not fully Kawaki because it's just the Ishiki powers. I think it should be everyone. Konohamaru, Sarada, freaking throw Nishi in there to get a punch on Jura. I don't care.
I'm not saying that they don't collectively make Jura go. I'm just saying I want to see Kawashiki versus Jura.
Sure.
That can be before everyone else or during everyone else.
Then
I'm just
again,
saying I want Kawashiki and I want Borushiki afterwards.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'll even generously say I'm 90% okay with Kawaki or Kawashiki fighting Jura. I'm just that 10% is the part that I'm hammering home right now. And it's the only thing I'm focused on, which makes you probably think that I'm completely against it. But what I am really against would be Borushiki turning the tides. That is unearned and cheap and lazy. If Borushiki is the reason Jura goes away, I'm not going to like that.
Yeah, because the difference with the Code arc, now, of course, I'm making a comparison to the Code arc from Momoshiki's perspective being similar, but there is a major difference. Momoshiki isn't what overcomes Code, or like the protagonist overcoming the antagonist angle. That's Kawashiki versus Code / Borushiki. Whereas Code is just in Borushiki is in the middle. It's almost like what delays things to the point that Kawaki gets to overcome Code and Borushiki also, funnily enough. But in this case, yeah, you could have Borushiki be that delay factor, but I don't think it makes sense in this case, just where we are in the arc, like, and the plot, like, okay, if Borushiki defeats Jura, then I guess Kawaki defeats Borushiki. Now we're just, Kawaki's not the protagonist. It doesn't make any sense. So that's a clear difference between these, which is why I agree with you. Borushiki can be like I just call it like a resolution epilogue problem that comes about after the fact. But it's not the Jura solution. The Jura solution should be something else. The problem is just figure what is going to be the Jura solution.
Well, I want Himawari primarily to be the one there, and you can throw Sarada in there as a like secondary primary one. Then I guess like Konohamaru and all the other characters there would be secondary as well. But those two in particular, I want to be the ones leading the charge, like narratively speaking, anyways. To be the reason to turn the tides, anyways.
But then again, Boruto's supposed to be the protagonist, so shouldn't he be like part of this overcoming, a main figure in overcoming Jura?
He should be, but we just got the high tower surprise, taking him out of the story temporarily until seemingly Kashin Koji heals him or whatever happens.
Or Himawari, I guess, if she wakes up and heals him.
Himawari could be good, yeah. Be ridiculous if like Team 10 brings Inojin back and then Inojin shares his Nine-Tails chakra with Boruto to heal. Inojin's the one that did it.
That'd be so stupid. I mean, I guess Kawaki can be like a delay factor. He delays Jura until Boruto's healed and they all gang up on Jura.
Again, that's completely fine.
But then it's like, okay, I
all
guess
of them are doing that, yeah.
But then because of the Momoshiki karma resonance nonsense, I feel like you almost can't have Boruto around Kawashiki like before Borushiki comes out. Like, they can't be while Jura's there, which means you either have to have Kawaki just get defeated so that like maybe he delays until he gets defeated. He's out. Karma nonsense isn't a factor. Then they defeat Jura with Boruto and everyone else. Problem with that is, I guess there's just no Momoshiki.
Well,
So,
we're really-
I don't know how you put all these together.
We're really hammering up this whole resonant scene from a couple chapters ago, just assuming that it's set up and is going to be like a Chekhov's gun that just is going to be paid off later. Borushiki can come out whether Kawaki is there and uses karma or not. For all we know, that was just the way that the author chose to have Boruto just end that fight before it really begins. So that we're not getting Boruto versus Karma Kawaki right now. That could just be the way he did. Like, Boruto could just exhaust all his chakra fighting Jura, and then Momoshiki just comes out.
Okay. I agree with what you're saying, I guess. So we can eliminate my last part. My first part still stands. You still just can't have Kawashiki next to Boruto before Jura is dealt with if you don't want Borushiki dealing with Jura. So,
I mean,
or around when Jura's there.
assuming...
So I guess, yeah, you could just have Borushiki come out on his own because Boruto's too tired or whatever the hell the reason is, while Kawaki's gone and knocked out, and then he wakes back up, I guess. And I guess if you want to do that, well, that could work.
Assuming Boruto's knocked out when Kawaki activates his Karma Seal, it might not just resonate at all. Or if Kawaki is away when he activates it, then he comes in Boruto's proximity with it already activated. That also might not resonate. It's two possibilities. And again, it just might not resonate every time for whatever reason.
Well, no, well, in that... Well, I don't think the resonance matters if Boruto's karma is already activated anyway. Well, slash Momoshiki, I guess, in this case. But...
again, just like last time, Boruto's karma can activate without Momoshiki coming out. It's also just another possibility.
Well, not with Kashikoji's dialogue. He was basically saying, like, bro, you're gonna lose control any second now. So clearly, yeah, he gets his 5-second window of opportunity. He's not gonna willingly use that. So,
well, he's in the village. What if Amado gives him the Byakugan suppressant drugs?
That would be a wacky twist. Amado just shows up the pills. Here you go, Boruto. I know you said you didn't want him anymore, but here you go.
That confirms Amado's immune to omnipotence too. That's a crazy one right there.
Yeah. That's quite the reveal. That'd be funny, but with the idea, okay, let's just say that Jura goes away. They dealt with him however they do. Now Momoshiki comes out. We've already essentially had the final battle of this arc with Jura. So what is Momoshiki going to do? Is this arc going to last a few more chapters with Momoshiki? Or is he just going to quickly do something? Let's just say, hypothetically, he kills Sumire and leaves. And then he's there for the next arc. Like, what are you expecting from Borushiki, assuming he comes out after Jura?
I mean, yeah, you say we've already had the final battle with Jura, so Borushiki's so weird. But like, again, Ishiki was the final battle of the Ishiki arc, and then Momoshiki was technically a quote-unquote battle afterwards, but I'm not looking at that as a final battle, quote-unquote. It's not like an epilogue, but it's just like one more
No. We're saying it's post-final battle. It's part of the resolution. But my point, though, is, again, that's after the final battle in this case too. But what do you expect?
I know.
From Borushiki.
I'm getting to that point because, well, what did Borushiki do in the Ishiki arc that made him necessary and relevant for the end of that arc to be placed there as well? Well, first he took out Sasuke's eye. That's a plot thing that doesn't actually matter for the narrative, in my opinion. Unless you want to say, oh, Boruto had to be the one to teleport them back. That's narratively significant for the end of that arc. I don't think so. The real emotional resonance with doing that.
The only narrow significance is making Sasuke like Naruto with the nerves.
No. I was gonna say the reason they would have done that is for the Kawaki stuff. Like Kawaki has to burn himself.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that they're for bros. Yeah.
It's two parts. It's both the Kawaki Boruto bond. Look at Kawaki's flashback montage during the chapter, which I thought was great. And the other part is Kawaki's hatred of the Otsutsuki. There's a two-part, which exactly plays into the Code arc and Prophecy arcs. So it was very good.
I'm not gonna say that same thing's gonna happen. Obviously, I think that'd be ridiculous for the exact same thing happen there. Just using that to see what happened there. Hypothetically, if Momoshiki comes
No, but
out,
I think the point would be that Momoshiki does something.
he does something like that matters narratively. Killing
Yeah.
Sumire would just feel
The question is
weird.
what?
So I wouldn't like that in particular. I know that's just a random example, not something you were
I
actually
think
saying.
he'd be going
is a
after
possibility.
Sarada, if anything. He'd be going after Sarada, if anyone.
Narratively, sure, but like in character, I don't see why he would do that. Well, I do see why, because omnipotence, but yeah.
To make Boruto despair.
Yeah.
Slash, that's also the one he knows was related to Sasuke helping Boruto and being immune.
I mean, funny enough, the best
she was-
way to make Boruto despair would actually just be for Borushiki to come out. Boruto just leaves. He just goes to the Sasuke tree and kills Sasuke. That's Boruto's goal, not Sarada or Sumire.
Honestly, let's roll with the hypothetical. Do you see them ever doing that?
I see. Okay, assuming they're even going to go in that conceptual route in the first place, I see Borushiki getting to the tree, whether or not he has to fight people on the way of getting to the tree. But once he gets there, there's also going to be some roadblocks at the tree itself, whether it's other people or the same people or something else entirely. Something's going to be there to like stop Boruto at the last minute, whether it's Boruto himself or whatever. Oh, I'm not thinking like a literal fight even necessarily.
No, I like
Just like even Boruto himself, just like stopping his hand from reaching out to grab Sasuke. Something's gonna stop him. Whether it's Boruto, whether it's someone else, whether it's something else. Could be whatever.
Yeah, so I could definitely see that because they do that all the time. But I think it'd be hilarious if it's Jura, so that way Hidari doesn't die.
Oh my god. That's crazy. I mean, so obviously I think you agree with this, but we haven't said it yet, even though you implied the opposite earlier, but it's not the literal knowledge of the Thorn Souls that's dangerous. It's the fact that Boruto can use the Thorn Souls based on his knowledge that's dangerous. So what Boruto plans to do with the Thorn Soul. Yeah, if Boruto just didn't care to use the Thorn Soul, he just knew what it could do, Jiro's not going to care. The knowledge itself isn't the important
he
part.
knows. Yeah.
Like, if Amado knows about the
It's the
Thorn
fact that,
Souls,
like-
I don't think Jiro's going to care.
It depends on whether Amato is going to do something with them.
Well, it's assuming he's not, but you get my point. I don't think Amado's trying to free Sasuke right now.
Well, that's a plot twist. Anyway, the thing that sucks is, honestly, again, we can obviously see it. You know, chapter 54, Momoshiki's in and out, but like, it just feels like he's gonna be so in and out unless he's in the next arc. I feel like this dude can't just hang around for more than one chapter.
Okay, so this is our favorite Twitter guy that we need to have in the podcast,
Okay.
Beta.
It's about... Well, I'll let you read it.
I've never heard anyone say this before.
Go for it.
It's time to admit the Otsutskis are the best concept Kishimoto ever introduced in Naruto. I've never heard a single person say that. It's the best concept. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would hear him cook, okay? It's not that I disagree, it's that I want to hear it. I'm all for encouraging this. I support this. Regardless if I agree or not.
Did I leave a link or just a screenshot?
Just a
Oh, shit,
screenshot.
okay. Let me try to find it.
It's screw finding it. Get him on the podcast. Let's go over this. It's better that way. Let's not desensitize ourselves to it. I would be prepared for, well, unprepared for it, I should say. Let me walk out naked into that blizzard.
Alright, then I won't look for it.
The
We'll just-
Akatsukis are better factually. Shout out Jev. You want to do this one too?
Oh yeah, well, ignore the second part, really, it's the first part.
Okay.
Ain't gonna lie, this gotta be one of the greatest time skip starts I've ever seen. I just feel like our last 200 streams just would disagree.
Well, was there any more that you want to say?
Also, shout out Matsuri Goofy Face.
Absolutely. I feel like this would have been perfect for like the comments first tab. Not much to talk about, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I should
cool
put
picture.
some of these Twitter posts in the comments first. That's what they
Thor's old
basically
picture.
are.
Basically, yeah.
That's interesting. That torso looks like a chakra fruit with that coloring.
And again, it feels like
It also looks like a Rinnegan.
the fan drawings feel like they're trying to make it a Rinnegan, not Hagoromo symbol.
Yeah.
But no, I think we have debunked this retroactively. Here's something, looking at my screen really quick. Kawaki's eye makes no sense is the video. The comment from Chris Joestar. I put it here instead of comments first because I felt like this was a good podcast topic. Trying to make sense out of Boruto is so difficult because the manga is breaking every single thing we once knew and retconning stuff just to please the plot. For me, it just feels unserious.
I mean, I love this comment.
Yeah, it feels unserious just to please the plot. It is retconning a bunch of stuff that we once knew, breaking every single thing. I agree with all this. I love it.
Yeah.
Why does Boruto cut himself off when he wants to say Master Sasuke, but he's totally cool with calling Konohamaru Master Konohamaru?
We mostly talked about whether or not Master Sasuke had anything to do with like respect and like the relationship growing with Sasuke, blah blah blah. That was really what we focused on, more so than the actual point about like Boruto doing this stuff. So we can still talk about, because I don't think we actually talked about the point, that at least the point I had in mind is more like Boruto's making it a point to call Sasuke Master Sasuke. Like, you know, he stops himself and he calls him Old Man Sasuke. He calls him Master Sasuke to Sarada. He calls it Master to Kawaki too, interestingly. But then to Konohamaru, he calls him Old Man Sasuke. In fact, he starts saying Master Sasuke, cuts himself off to say Old Man Sasuke. But I actually, something I didn't mention before that I thought was interesting, though, is Boruto refers to Sasuke as Master Sasuke to the people who are immune to omnipotence. Himself, Sarada, Kawaki. But the people who are affected by omnipotence, he calls them Old Man Sasuke. But then with Mitsuki, he was going to say mom and cuts himself off to say his wife.
Yeah, perfect segue to this topic.
Not so far.
Yeah, well, I agree. I honestly, I don't have much to add to this. I feel like I already added everything I could have in DMs the other day. Like, it's a perfect segue to a different topic, but if you want to stay on this topic, that's fine. Say more
But we can
about it.
segue. I'm pretty sure we talked about this a little bit.
Okay, well, perfect segue to Mitsuki. No respect in Japan.
You know what?
Here.
That also reminds me, just in light of you referencing like a Naruto thing. So, for all of you idiots out there who like to say, "Oh, the manga's just a snapshot. The anime's the complete story." Okay, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna bring you back to chapter 2 of Naruto. There are no shortcuts to becoming Hokage. One of the first messages in this freaking franchise. You think Kishimoto, the guy who consistently... Oh, by the way, it's not just chapter 2. Naruto's bringing it up again with Obito in the war arc. There are no shortcuts to becoming Hokage. He hasn't forgotten this shit. You really think Kishimoto, the man who wrote that message, is taking a shortcut to writing a good manga by making it incomplete? Do you really think Kishimoto is going to go that far against his own messages in Naruto? It would be the biggest contradiction to his own themes. Like, no.
The hard path is the one that matters. Kishimoto, the one who's apparently writing Boruto, the man who spent decades of his time, like 24/7, writing a 700 chapter series, then continue with Naruto Gaiden and the movie and all these other... The man who clearly is passionate about Naruto during and after its publication. We're gonna say Kishimoto's the one writing it. Okay. Yeah. So Kishimoto
not only
disrespects his own character that he created.
Do you guys forget the themes and story of the Boruto movie? Kishimoto's reflecting on himself, and Kishimoto
learned his lesson. And the reason he doesn't want to like do all the art and shit is to be at home. With that in mind, do you really think Kishimoto would devote all his time, even if he's not doing the drawing, but actually devote so much time to the writing? Bro's a fucking billionaire at this point, probably. The bro's at his home with his kids and wife. He's doing the bare minimum. And we'll talk about this day in the stream. Like I said, I do want to talk about this whole Kishimoto bullshit. But like, bro isn't doing the bare minimum. He's at home. Like, otherwise, again, do you really think Kishimoto's contradicting the Boruto movie message too? Like, how many things do you think Kishimoto's going out of his way to just contradict every single theme he has written?
Oh, it's not a contradiction, it's an antithesis. Are you not reading Boruto? Come on, Kamui. It's surface level, it's obvious.
Kishimoto's the antagonist of Boruto.
Don't worry, Kamui. The anime is gonna fix it. The anime is gonna mention Hinata.
Yeah.
Yes,
I guess there are shortcuts
problems.
to becoming Hokage after all.
Yeah, so the manga problems that we have right now, when the anime adapts it in the future, that fixes the manga problems that we have right now when the anime does it in the future. Yeah, so don't worry.
It's like, bro, that doesn't fix the manga anyway, regardless of time. It's the other medium.
By the way,
it's
I
the
love
anime fixing the anime.
I love how they just say it
Change it up.
confidently. Like they just know. Oh yeah, this thing, it is gonna be fixed in the anime. Like they're just acknowledging it, that it is a problem, that they just know. They just know it's gonna be fixed in the anime. They say it, don't worry. They're not saying, oh yeah, it might, so hold your thoughts. No, they're saying, do not worry right now. Because I know in the future, this will be fixed. How? How do you know? Are you making the anime? No.
Well,
Could
that's
be just
the
as
thing.
much of a problem. Could
I
be
am
more of a
well
problem.
aware, and I love it. The anime adds a lot of stuff. It does expand upon a lot of stuff. So I understand that it's possible, but you've got to consider, look at the Ishiki and Code arcs. The anime did not add that much. Like, it does stuff here and there, but it really just, like, adapted the manga for the most part without adding a whole lot of extra nuance. Granted, those arcs didn't need it as much, but even, like, the Mujina Bandits arc, I guess that arc didn't really need it, but none of these arcs needed is the problem, but they don't add, I mean, most of the stuff is the filler arcs, really, and it's just, like, but you can't guarantee it because they don't add everything we would have liked to have seen. They add some stuff. Some of the stuff they've added wasn't really that deep. Boru's cult, that wasn't that deep. They didn't add anything for Delta. It didn't add any, like I said, it did a lot for Victor. But it's like, it didn't add that much for Code or Boro and them. I mean, that's a little bit sure, but it's like, I'm not gonna say, like, the anime didn't fix Boro. Let me put it to you this way. We've discussed Boro sucking. The anime did not fix him. They expanded upon him a little bit, yes.